What? Fine.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of A Thousand Year Door. We're back. It's exciting. Saba was just about to say something before I had to interrupt her so I could do my intro. Give the video a second. It's back. Okay.
Okay. I was about to say that, I don't know, sometimes, you know, with people's situations and all of that, sometimes it just ends up turning out that you just need to play, like, the game without him, right? Because it's like, at some point, it has to be the time or it's never going to be a good time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Because it's on both parties, right? It's like, and if you're trying to do your best and you were trying to get there as fast as you can just to have the other party kind of be like, oh, well, I now have dedicated this time for something else. It's like, well, okay, well, this was the time and this was the place and you chose to do something else and that's fine.
I think it's I think it's like a dinner party situation. You know how people used to do that in like the 50s where it's like, oh, we're gonna have like a fancy dinner and invite your boss. That way you can get a promotion. I think it's that where Grant's doing it so that way he can try to get a raise or whatever. So
yeah, you said that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like not bent out of shape about the situation in the slightest, because it's like, yeah, you know, you're overworking yourself to death, literally. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not even what he's doing. It's kind of just like it's an unfortunate timing situation.
Exactly,
you know?
I agree. Yeah, it's been a week. I'm gonna have to relearn all of my timings for the stylish moves.
What is I'm talking to Raheem now. Raheem, what is Minnie's white cat cousin's name? Man, naming like a white cat Ghost would be pretty funny.
Wrong. Naming a white cat Snowball is funnier.
I also like that. That is also good.
You should, I think it's best to take the Columbo route with it, just name a cat.
Dog,
True.
cat, fish, horse.
Oh my god, what if you named it Tic Tac? Or
So
just
that way it's
Tac, because
0
that's
calories?
the reverse of cat.
I do like tack. I do like tack.
Tac is really funny, but I also said Tic Tac because Tic Tacs are normally white. At least the mint are.
Yes, that one specific type of mint is white. You're correct.
I just recalled,
To say most of them are white, I don't know if that's
I just
correct.
always remember liking that orange colored one.
Then why did you say white?
Because I recalled all Tic Tacs aren't white, okay? I just have to remind myself. Raheem, I feel like, wait, no. Was Chime the one telling me the jokes last time, or was it you, Raheem?
That was
I don't
Raheem.
know. What's red? Blood?
Yeah, what's red? Blood.
Yeah, that's an option.
There's nothing else that's red. It's just blood.
It can't be the sun because the sun is orange.
Sun's red. Depends on where it is.
The sun is a scary ball of gas.
It is
Scary ball.
genuinely when you like. I remember that video where it was just like two kids sitting at like their high school cafeteria table, and one kid just goes like, have you ever thought of the sun as like an entity before? Like, it's a giant ball of gas that is the sole reason why there's life on Earth. That's some Cthulhu shit. And then he gets smacked. Like,
That's really funny.
hard.
Well, I said blood, Raheem, because we were talking about the Red Cross a while ago, okay? It's not always scary. It could be medical in nature.
I see you still have those sound effects badges equipped.
Oh, I'm not getting rid of I'm going to stack all of them as soon as I get them.
You're gonna collect the others too and have them on all the time as well?
Oh, 100%.
Oh my god.
What do you mean? It's
100%.
It's like the funniest thing that I have access to right now.
They're quite bad.
I was just called Spooky Zach.
Okay.
Just like the sun.
Just like the sun.
Just like the sun.
Did you ever see those official NASA posters that made like a bunch of recently discovered celestial phenomenon into like horror movie posters?
No, but I don't want to see it either because that's the kind of like thing that I think could eventually get me.
Space
horror.
I'm going to kill you. It's a poster.
No, I don't want to
straight
think
up. I'm
about
just straight
it.
up, like, because you know how like most of the time I send you like cute cats or funny memes or whatever. There's a 1 in 6 chance. Like every time I send you something, I'm gonna roll d6, and if it comes up a 1, I'm sending you some terrifying shit just instantly.
Okay.
And you're not
As
gonna
long
know.
as I know it's
No, Zach, you need
real,
to-
we'll be fine.
You need to open up Photoshop and make it a GIF where like the first 4 frames are really cute, and then the last frame that it stays on is just some horrifying jump scare.
And
like,
sometimes Zach combines the scary and then the cute, because he sent me like, I don't know, this artist rendition of like something that looks cute and then turns into like a demonic thing, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh, by the way, you see that little crack there in the railing behind the pipe? I always thought you could sneak back there with the slim thing. You can't in the handrail there.
Because there's green back there, right?
Yeah, right.
It,
looks like
it
there's
does
stuff there.
genuinely look like a place where you could go, but I'm gonna take that
Unfortunately
you
not.
can't.
Well, Raheem, it is the weekend. What are you doing tomorrow? I don't know if you're gonna. You have class. You're
Do you like
teaching
the
your
train
class
gets
on
way
the
more
weekend
high
or
res
not.
when you get in here?
You're gonna.
It's true.
It looks like shit when
mute
you're in the
myself
other
for this.
zone, but in here it looks really nice. Poshly Heights, do you have a ticket?
I don't think so. I don't
you
remember.
don't.
It's been a week and I haven't
You
been
poor
thinking about the
person.
game. Where am I supposed to be going again?
Did you go back to the Crystal Star Gate? Given you got a
I-
Crystal Star?
Yes, and it told me that I'm gonna have to go to, it's like the Black and White Forest.
Oh, you need to go back down to next to where the Crystal Star Gate is.
Fuck. Okay. Cool. All right, I'll make my way back there. Adrian, just to let you know, I don't know if we're gonna be doing. I mean, I think there'll be like 3 of us. I think we could still do some voice acting, but like Grant won't be here today. So
Okay.
when it comes to like somebody to keep progress moving, it's kind of just you.
Great, because Saba hasn't played this game.
No.
Nope.
And
I've
I
played this
have,
game.
but
Look,
clearly
Adrian.
don't remember anything.
Okay, cool.
With that being said, I did want to ask you, Adrian.
Yeah.
You have so many banter topics.
I do.
I'm gonna like straight up. If you want today to be like your day, yeah,
Okay, well, to be fair, a lot of these don't have that much substance to them.
it was like a premonition or like a thought, and you're like, oh, I'll talk
Yeah, a
about
lot of
this
these
little
were
bit.
just like blips in my head that were like, that'd be funny to mention.
Oh my God! Yeah. Banter.
so-
Yeah. There's a ton of them.
I'll try to go with the shorter ones first, in case we need to save the long ones for later. I had an idea. This one's Legendary Sword Altar Room. I had an idea, right? Because you know how in Legend of Zelda, the Master Sword's always in this like altar, forest, or grove, or temple,
or like
whatever, and this
temple.
big
It's always
thing.
like a big significant area. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the center of the scene. I thought it'd be really funny if you had like the hero has to go there, but then they go there and the sword's just not there. And they're like, what the fuck? And they look around and then they find the sword is just like lying on the floor next to some pots.
Someone had pulled it out like a while ago, but then just like
Left it there.
left it there.
Or like instead of being like on in like big thing with the obvious sword slit in it, it's like in a box. like the guy who was supposed to put it there just never got around to actually putting it in the
Like,
stone. They
listen,
just kinda-
I'll get to it. You know. Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
it's
just
one of
there
the.
for
It's a
storage.
puny.
Yeah.
Or what if it's like a guy pulled it out of the stone, but something happened, so he like died, but like the sword is in his hand and he's just on the floor, and you just like, ugh.
I was gonna say,
That's important.
that is pretty. I like the idea that like the sword is out of the stone, but it's in the skeleton of a guy who's clearly dead there. like the guy's holding it in his skeletal hands.
In Zelda Breath of the Wild, the criteria for being able to pull the Master Sword out of its like vessel is that you need to have enough heart containers to survive the encounter. So now that you mention it, it would be hilarious to have a instance where you go into the thing. It's like that exact same scene, but Link walks in and he sees like a previous incarnation of Link just dead on the ground because he had just enough heart containers to pull it out of the sword, but not enough to survive. So he just like keeled over dead.
Yeah, like you don't even get to attempt the challenge because it's already out of the stone.
I don't know if I necessarily want to say like the least ceremonious, but like what would be like the I guess funniest place to find like the legendary sword.
I like the idea that you enter the room and it plays this cutscene where it cuts over to like the light rays from the hole in the ceiling pouring down on this beautiful altar, and the sword's not there. And it pans back to your character who trips and looks down, the sword just like in the doorway.
Still glowing and like majestic, but it's just like not there.
Yeah, it's like within 1 foot of the door. The character didn't even realize it's on the floor, it wasn't looking down.
What if it was like a funny prank? I like the idea of like a little prank where it's like.
I mean, that's what these are basically.
Yeah, like you said, hide behind the door or like
Yes,
dig it like underground. Oh my god.
Dude, Zach, you know what would be a really funny alternative to like because like the Legend of Zelda thing is like basically a progress test, how many hearts you have, right?
Right.
What if it was the exact same thing, but in the test the test that takes away hearts and sees you survive is the sword is set like a bucket on top of the door, so it falls on you when you enter.
Oh my god!
So you push open the big stone doors into the temple where in the forest where it is, and as you do it, the sword just goes sing like straight through your body and you die. And like the next time, the doors are closed again and you're like, what the fuck? And you go to open it and the sword's like on top again.
You go to open it, the sword's there embedded in the skull of a skeleton.
I like the idea that like you approach like something that like resembles like a sword and you get close to it and it turns out it's a box, and then you open that box and there's like another box inside that box that also has another looking sword on it, and then you just keep on going until you reach like the end.
So it's like a Russian nesting doll of swords.
Yeah, but there's not actually, I guess, yeah.
Wait,
and then like the last thing is like either one of those things where you click and it extends into a sword, or it's like a button that like causes, I don't know, the rock or whatever, for thinking of the rock scenario, where it opens and then the sword emerges from there or something like that. But I just like that idea.
I like the Russian nesting doll of swords, where it's like you find the legendary sword like sheathed in its scabbard, so you pull the hilt and you unsheath it, only to find a slightly smaller scabbard, and then you unsheath that, and then it's slightly smaller. You do this like a couple hundred times, and then eventually it's just like a pencil, like a
dagger.
Well, not even. It's like one of those things of lead that you have in mechanical pencils, and like that's the sword.
That's the sword.
And
but it's got like, it's still got like a huge two-handed handle.
Oh my god. It snaps instantly as soon as you like poke a giant with it.
That's why there were so many scabbards to protect it. It's very fragile.
It's so fragile, dude. What do you mean? You use this on a random goblin? It's supposed to be for the evil dragon. That's why we put so many scabbards on it.
It deals 400 damage to evil legendary dragon types, but 0 damage to every other type of enemy.
It has -1 durability. The second you use it, it will break. Oh god, how funny would that be if like you found the legendary sword, and when you went to go draw it, like the deterioration of the metal meant that the sword was garbage, but then you thought about like the legend again and you're like, wait a minute, isn't the whole thing supposed to be invincible? And you put the scabbard back on and suddenly it goes from a slashing weapon to like a blunt like polearm, where you're just fucking whacking dudes like boom.
No, that's called
like
the Mordhau, if you will.
If this is I like the idea of like a weapon that's like, oh, only like the just can yield me, right? And if you happen not to be just, I guess, when you go to like hit someone with the sword, it just becomes one of those little fake retractable blades.
It shinks back into the handle.
Yeah,
right
so
before
it's like
as you thrust to pierce the heart of the hero, it just goes whoop.
like you slash and it retracts only just quick and barely enough to miss, but then like extends back in when the slash would have passed the enemy.
Oh my gosh, I just thought that'd be really funny.
Have you guys seen Puss in Boots 2?
I actually watched it last night. Real quick, because I know you're gonna say some stuff about the movie, which feel free, unless Sabo doesn't want spoilers.
I'm okay.
That movie fucked me up.
It's a good movie.
No, it's a very good movie. But
I know exactly why.
there are certain themes in that movie, and I'm like a 26-year-old guy, and I was trying to sleep, and immediately my brain was like in hyperactive mode, where I was like, this movie's fucking awful. It's not. It's a great movie, but like it fucked me up. Is all I'm saying.
For you, I was gonna say for you specifically, because you have a lot of your own problems with the themes that movie touches on.
Dude, I like the wolf though. I gotta say, it's a really cool design.
Lobo is pretty cool. That's Spanish for wolf. Saba, have you seen the movie?
No, but I've seen like a lot of like, you know, little tidbits of like.
Okay, do you know the character that John Mulaney plays?
Okay, if you're gonna ask me this kind of question, no.
Saba doesn't know who people are. John Mulaney's the comedian. He's
the comedian who came out of the 50s, but looks like he's 20.
He looks like he's simultaneously 60 and 20 years old. He talks with the exact same cadence as if everything is a joke, but he's also very sincere about it, which is one of the reasons why he's so popular. What was his name? It was Big Harker
Jack
something?
Horner.
Jack Horner, thank you.
Eating a Horner pie. Stuck in his thumb, pulled out a plum and said, what a good boy am I. He's from a nursery rhyme.
Genuinely, that villain design is incredible.
So to fill you in without spoiling too much, Saba, right? He's a character who collects magic items. One of the items he collects is Excalibur, but he's obviously not King Arthur. So his solution is just to have the rock around it also excavated, so it turns into a hammer, where the handle is the handle.
Like a fucking golf club.
Yeah, and then the hammerhead is just a bunch of earth attached to the end of the blade.
Which brings up good
yes. I'm remembering who you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen the person. Yeah.
It brings up good questions though, because it's like, how much of that like rock can you chisel away before the magic tells you that you can't anymore?
I mean, presumably all of it. I assume that getting the sword out cleanly without damaging it's just like what the King Arthur could do. Which, by the way, I learned this fairly recently. Do you know the sword is supposed to actually be stuck in an anvil, not a stone?
I do believe I actually told Stream this like a couple months ago.
Oh,
man.
It was because the idea was that it was supposed to be this great legendary weapon where it was made for an unjust like former ruler or something like that. So the smith immediately took it and struck it into the anvil that made it, and was like, only the true King of England can draw it or whatever. I don't know when it became a rock, which is a little weird because genuinely I think it being an anvil is way cooler.
I think the rock adds some like mystique and like
the rock could be anywhere natural. Versus like an anvil in the middle of like a forest. You're like, how did this anvil get here?
Well, that's a good point. Presumably would be in a town next to a smithy,
or you would have moved it somewhere. That's a good point, I suppose. I did want to say before we make any progress here, once again, I'm good to just chit chat. We don't have to do any voice acting for now, but I think I may have mentioned this a while ago, but in Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, as with a lot of the really good Castlevanias, like the early ones, there's like a post game where you can do a bunch of like secret bosses and stuff. And the idea is that in that game, there's two versions of each boss depending on, you know, which version of the castle you're going through. And in one half, you fight this like legendary suit of armor. It's just like a retooled version of like a boss that you fought during the main campaign. And when you beat him, you get Excalibur, but when you swing it, it's incredibly slow because it has the rock on the end of it, right? So it's the same joke as what we just talked about. But then when you go to the like reverse castle and you fight that exact same suit of armor, but now it's like twice as tough, your reward is the anvil that made Excalibur, and if you hit it with Excalibur, the rock shatters, and then you just get the best sword in the game. And I just want to say, that's fucking cool. Like, that's really awesome.
Speaking of Castlevanias, I saw a post a while ago on Tumblr describing concept for a game that I don't know if you've seen, but I thought it was interesting, which was like a Legend of Zelda-esque game, but you already killed the big bad, and you start with all the like varying puzzle-solving equipment and tools in the game, and the challenge and progression is you have to go around the world and place them in these place all of your equipment in these hidden dungeons, so the next hero like can rise up and take them. Because you can't just leave them in town, otherwise some goon is going to take them. So you have to leave them guarded, and the game gets harder and harder because you're losing your equipment as you go along. Figure out puzzle solve with less stuff available to you.
I think you mentioned this in the past, and I will say that I think it's a very cool idea. But in a lot of ways, I really wonder how once again, it's just a concept, right? But I really wonder how the execution of that game idea would fare in the real world. Mostly because challenge should rise to meet you and then surpass you. Like, that's how a video game normally works. And the idea of your power level decreasing as you go might not be as engaging, we'll say. And so it's an interesting idea. I just really look forward to seeing somebody try it, I guess, you know.
I feel like you could probably match the idea of you becoming less and less powerful with like a theme of like grimness and like desperation, and that kind of tying into with like the gameplay of like, oh, you're losing power and you're like aging and getting old and shit, and you gotta trust the next generation.
Isn't that the mechanic of that game you were telling me about, Zach?
Cool, Saba.
The fighting game?
You gotta be more specific.
I don't know, something Yakuza-ish related kind of thing.
The game like Yakuza?
No, it was not. I don't think it was Yakuza, but it was like he fights, and every single time he loses, he gets older.
Oh, that's Sifu.
Yeah, that's Sifu.
That's not necessarily. I mean, it's kind of Yakuza related, but the character himself isn't a Yakuza.
I'm about to say it's just like martial arts, so it's not really Yakuza oriented. But
I think there's some
like
Yakuza
the
characters,
of,
but like not central.
Getting more power, but getting older, so also it's kind of like losing their edge.
Well, because the way that game does it is that as you get older, your like once you start pushing into like old age, your strength and total health decrease, but your reaction time keeps getting faster because you're still practicing well into your old age. So it becomes this really cool thing where like technically you are at your strongest when you're like 80 years old, which is I think as old as you can get before the game just kills you. But at the same time, like 2 hits from the wrong enemy and you're fucking dead. Like it crushes your ribcage and you just bleed to death internally. But I did want to say in regards to, I guess it's like tangentially related to the thing that Adrian was talking about with like giving up your weapons to the next hero or whatever. I know it was all over Tumblr for a while, so I'm assuming Adrian's mildly familiar with it. But do you ever hear of the game called Moon?
I'm not.
Moon?
Moon, yes. So it's this, I want to say it was for the Dreamcast or something like that. And the long and the short of the game is that the legendary hero has defeated the evil like king or whatever. Like that's where the game starts, is that the hero has already killed the king. But the thing is that it wasn't like an evil king, it was the enemy king of your king, right? So the legendary hero went out and killed a bunch of monsters, ruined a bunch of people's lives, completely dismantled like a kingdom by killing their entire monarchy, you know what I mean? And so you in the game play as this spirit of the full moon, where you have exactly one night to go back, like trace the steps of the legendary hero and like help put people's undead spirits to rest, help console the grieving families of the people who, you know, died in battle and stuff like that. And it's this very somber look at like, what does it actually mean to be an RPG NPC? You know what I mean? And it's a very interesting game. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because it has this extremely like somber mood where every single group of people you run into in that game are miserable and suffering and they just want the pain to stop. But at the same time, in the back of your head, you're like, but the king did have to die, though. Like, he was, like, if it wasn't this king, it was the other king, you know what I mean? So, like, stuff would have happened either way. So, anywho, I just wanted to share that one, because I think that game's really neat. It's also very long, despite the fact that it takes one in-game day to complete.
Pack rat.
We got some
Sketch.
Vivian, you fool!
You know, I hate to say it, but the dynamic is very very Zack Saba-esque.
What are you talking about?
So who's who, I guess, then, Adrian?
I'll let stream decide that.
I would like to say, for my own personal vouch, I would never trust Saba with the map, period.
Oh, I see. So Zach has identified himself then.
I think it's pretty clear what the implications are, and yes, I will heartily say that not only am I what's the name of the blue hat one?
Beldum.
Not only would I in this circumstance identify as Beldum, I think I would go further than Beldum and just not let you participate at all outside of combat.
Wow.
Not because I don't trust you, but because I don't trust you.
Not because I trust you, it's because I hate you. It's like, oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I know.
And see, the funny thing is that Marilyn saying absolutely nothing of any consequence also symbolizes me and Grant perfectly.
See, that's his evil laugh. He's evil.
That was inclined naturally towards an evil sound. Yeah.
Adrian, I don't remember if I asked you. Did you watch Soul Eater?
No.
Okay.
Are you gonna try to fucking argue that I'm Excalibur again? Because I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Sorry, I don't like watching.
Phoenix Fire brought this up a while ago, and I just needed to, remind you, Zach, that Excalibur is a thing, and you remind me of him. That's it.
The only thing I know about Soul Eater is that Excalibur is apparently a person who's really annoying. So.
And Saba wonders why I hate her.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That is the only thing I know about Soul Eater, is that Excalibur as a character is really annoying.
No, he couldn't be. He's a legendary sword.
And Saba's like, oh, Zach's the one that bullies me.
I actually don't know if you can kill these guys yet.
Are you shitting me?
You might be able to, I don't remember. They might only have one defense. Okay, yeah, never mind. I was thinking of the other guys. Oh!
I mean, I can also kill him if I get good.
If you just get good, yeah.
Adrian, next banter topic. Why are there a bunch of fucking artichokes in the background? Or asparagus, rather.
Okay, so, I wanted to also... on the topic of, like, legendary swords and shit, I kind of wanted to... Because this has the potential to be really annoying and tedious, right? But I want to explore it as a concept. I like the idea of a video game where there's like no NPCs, maybe it's post-apocalyptic or whatever, and everyone's dead. But there's no like dialogue and there's no like signs, but there are still items like Bloodborne-esque. But they don't come with names, or the names they come with are extremely basic and nondescript. So like you get like this big hammer, it just says hammer. And then you go to like 4 zones down, you get another hammer, it also just says hammer. But the game lets you name any and all items that you come across. So you have to describe the names based on your own utility or their personality or description or whatever. And a game where you name all your items. Again, has the potential to be very, very annoying, but I like the concept.
Oh.
The hypothetically, the necessity of renaming your items would be the frustrating part. But if they had like, because you said like hammer and then like another hammer or something like that. If by chance, instead of it being of that, if it was like Red Hammer or like Rusty Hammer, like something just to differentiate them on like the basic level, and then you could rename them. I think that'd be really cool. I agree.
What are your guys' thoughts on like if there was a game that one of the mechanics that involved in the game was having to describe an item or be super descriptive of an item, and you only get certain level number of like points depending on how accurate you were in your description?
What do you get any context for what these things are?
I actually think there is maybe some potential. I don't know if it'd be like power stuff, so much just like satisfaction stuff, but like if there were like, because Bloodborne's whole thing is environmental storytelling, right?
More or less, yeah.
And also item description storytelling. But like, I like the idea of like, there's no like obvious signs or labels on anything or NPCs, but there are still like lore excerpts and ancient tomes you can find to describe varying like weapons and artifacts, and it's up to you to decide, wait, is this hammer the sword of Angkor, or is that the other one that I have? Is it the blue one? And, like,
I have so many legendary weapons in my inventory.
They're all just called like blue sword, or like sword I found in a dumpster, or sword.
That's not bad actually. Like I kind of like that. I like the idea of like, if you care about the lore, you can like piecemeal what these things are, because some of them probably are just regular swords, right? But then you pick up this one sword, and when you're at full health, it shoots a laser beam when you swing it, and it's like, what the fuck is that?
It's like like
a
Legend of
skeleton
Obra
was
with your
wielding it
weapons.
before you found it, and it's like, what the fuck? Who's that guy?
It's for insurance purposes.
It's like Legend of Obra Dinn, but with your weapons instead of dead sailors.
Oh my god. I guess, okay, I thought of like a specific context that this could be applied to. It's like, for example, what if you had like a game where it was like a food dish and you were like the person who was like named to like name the dish and write the description of the dish, and depending on like how accurately you describe the dish, then like the patrons or like the customers would be like, yeah, this is exactly, like, you'd get better, more points, like, this is exactly what I ordered, like, oh my gosh, so it's fantastic.
So within the context
blah, blah.
of this game, let's go with your example of like it being a restaurant, right? So in the context of your game, do you have an unlimited amount of words that you can use?
Yeah, it's like type like a small, like, and maybe not paragraph, but like 2 or 3 sentences descriptor.
So in terms of how the game would be programmed, you would have to have like, okay, here's an image of the food, and then you would have to be looking for like keywords that the person types in, and depending on how many of those keywords they hit determines their score.
This feels like you would be playing as like a food critic, and your aim is to get people to give you like, oh, this review was helpful, and like climb the ranks of descriptive food critic.
What would you guys think of like a mechanic like that? Would you like having to like do something where you were to like, you know, type out like a descriptor and then be judged whether or not your descriptor, how accurate descriptor is or not?
I feel like an alternative would be like, rather than having to like program a thing that reads and parses sentences, just like I kind of like the idea of like it being more like ad libs, where you have to like have a frame and then fill in the vocabulary, and then as you like become a better critic or whatever, you get better and better and more descriptive vocabulary.
Because from like from a game design perspective, would I be interested in this game? I would try it like at a game jam or something, right? But like the thing is that, and this is not universally true, right? Normally games have a decently low input density to outcome ratio. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, normally what the game, because obviously you know this, right? But normally the game that you're describing would be the exact reverse, where it gives you a description and then you have to pick which of these foods best match this description, right? Because your input in that case would be 1, which would be picking the food. Whereas like if you're typing it out, I do think that would be really engaging in a very strange way. I wonder how you would keep that element fresh, though, I guess. But at the same time, it's an interesting idea.
I just thought of like, the idea of like it being kind of like a cheeky thing where you'd have to like You would have to type out like a descriptor, and like you would have to be super particular about like your description of the thing, or if not, you'll like lose points because of it. I was like, I think that'd be fun, and it would like cause people to have to like actually think about stuff.
I mean, once again, I will reiterate that you will have to be very specific about, like, not saying that you're making this, but like if you did, you would have to have some sort of like character limit, I guess, as if you were posting a review on Yelp, because otherwise people would just like Control C, Control V a dictionary.
No, yeah, I think by that point, if someone did like X, like, because like if the request was just like, hey, in like a short like paragraph, 2 or 3 sentences, please write something out, and if someone were to automatically write more than like 12 sentences or something like that, I feel like the response would just be like, no one wants to read this and you failed. Or something like that.
No one has the attention span for it.
Yeah, no one. Or the thing comes back, it's like, we can't publish this. This is impossible. Please try again.
This feels like you're writing the script for a TikTok.
Oh God, no! Don't do that to me.
Because that's the context in which you would have a really short review. Otherwise, it'd be on, like, people write some pretty long stuff on Yelp.
Well, yeah, that's why it's like I said, review versus
this is the
like
fortune path.
Physical descriptor, right?
Oh, I got a bunch of coins! Sick!
You doubled your coins.
I forgot that we're timed, so I'll just pause here real quick. In regards to, so there's this YouTube series that I recently fell in love with by this guy named Iron Pineapple, where he just goes through Steam and plays a bunch of like jank Dark Souls-like games. And the one that Adrian's idea just made me think of was he played this game where you play as a stick figure in a 3D world. So like your character is hyper simplistic, obviously, but everything around you is like detailed and 3D modeled and whatnot. And the idea is that your character was hit by a curse to have their entire story removed from existence. So like you literally don't exist anymore. And by going through these individual zones and like dungeons and stuff, you are picking up the pieces of other people's stories and like putting them onto yourself as if they were armor. So, you can be like a knight and a pugilist and a cavalier and yada yada, blah blah blah. But in regards to the weapon thing, they have this thing where at the bottom of some like side dungeons, you'll find weapons that are just like pencil drawings in 3D space of like what the weapon would be. And the idea is that the weapons have a set of like 3 mini objectives, like mini quests. And depending on which region of the world you complete them in, you get to unlock the next quote unquote chapter of that weapon's story. And the more chapters you have, the more complete the weapon becomes. So the one that he did in the video was that he found this hammer and he 100%ed all 3 chapters for the hammer in the poison swamp. So the hammer, when it was fully completed, was like this mossy, swampy stump where every time he slammed it, it would send out like a wave of poison and stuff like that. And it was just really cool because it was like, if he had done that in the fire zone instead, it would have been a completely different weapon. Or if he had mixed and matched the 2 zones, it would have taken elements from both areas and mixed and matched them. Not exactly what Adrian was talking about, because Adrian's thing was more of like a lore specific element, not really gameplay specific. But I thought that was a really interesting idea. It's just a shame that the game itself that the guy was playing sucked.
No,
which is a
that's
shame.
Killer. Yeah, the game does need to be decent.
And that's the thing, right? Where it's like, I think that's the reason why I fell in love with his YouTube series, because so many games have incredible ideas, but they just don't have the expertise to execute on them properly. And that's kind of sad, Oh yeah, I should probably go to the punies now instead of doing all this extra nonsense first.
Right.
So was that one of your banter topics? I don't even remember.
That was. It started with a game where you name all your items.
And I do really, I would like to reiterate, I do really like that idea, because one of the larger criticisms of the Dark Souls series by people who don't know shit is that the games have no lore, and people that say that they do have lore are just up their own ass. It's like, no, the games do have lore. There is a story that is occurring. It's just not telling you like straight up. I like
you have to actually look for it.
I like your thing of obfuscating it by one additional layer of like, I don't even know if this weapon is what this fucking thing is talking about. I think that that's really funny.
I think it would help in that game if every item gave you a log of like, you found this in this place, and then where you found if like it was wielded by this enemy or is hidden in a chest or whatever. And that was what the item description was, rather than anything like
it was just like a logistical printout of like where you found it, how, and when, and all that jazz. I agree. I think it's actually, it would obviously require like an enormous amount of like forethought and planning to make it feel good, but I think that would be the sort of thing that people on like YouTube would go absolutely batshit for, where it's like, oh my god, this was the legendary flamberge of Gabagoo, and it's like, what the fuck?
Flamberge of Gabagoo.
Gabagoo, the legendary Italian chef.
The legendary blade.
Legendary blade of Gabagoo.
Man, I would like more giant, like, culinary weapons. That would be fun.
You mean like the Parmesan pulverizer?
Oh, sure. Or like
the
giant
sausage dagger. Sam was not there for this.
Specifically,
but excuse you, I put out a video.
And it's not up this anymore, is it?
Is it not?
I thought it wasn't. I thought I was looking for it recently. I had to go to your fucking. It's on your Twitch and on your YouTube.
I'll have to double check that for you, because I thought I left it up, because I know I did a purge of my content where I just like took a bunch of stuff and made it, and I made it unpublished. I'll go back and turn that one on.
I was gonna say,
want.
yeah, it's on your Twitch still as a separate video, but it's not on your YouTube anymore. At least I'm pretty sure.
He's changing the archiving rules. How dare he?
This is literally a picture of. This is literally a picture of Stalin in the boat.
Ooh.
All right. I want to bring up another banter topic idea that I had.
Please do.
Please, sir.
I had this. I probably have already talked about this.
Are you listening to this fucking music, dude?
It's
really
great.
peaceful.
So good.
I think I've probably already talked about this, but I want to bring it up again because the idea still fascinates me and I really like it. I like the idea of extremely specific or unusual statistics that the game would keep track of. So like, I don't know how to articulate this right now. My brain is churning, if you will. But
oh, I know who this is.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that she's here.
Yes, this is the zone you get her in.
I forgot about that. Man, Saba's gonna absolutely adore this character design.
Oh great, Madame Fleury. It's a nice house.
Yes, Adrian. Sorry.
But I like the idea of a game keeping track of like charisma, panache, and gumption, for example.
Oh, you're talking specifically about like stats, not like metrics.
Well, it could be either.
Well, because as you were talking and you were like, I like the idea of a game keeping track of like weird things. It reminded me of in Silent Hill 2 in the original release. The best ending in the game, like the canonical, like good ending, I guess is how you would describe it, has so many batshit insane metrics that you have to meet in order to even qualify for the good ending to begin with. And I'm not going to list them all out, but the one that always sticks out in my mind is that in your inventory. Thank you, Mikey, for trying out the new sound effects that I have equipped on the channel. He played the ooh-woo sound.
Amazing.
Sorry. At the very beginning of the game in Silent Hill 2, you have a picture of your late wife in your pocket, and you can pull it out and inspect it at any time if you want, right? In order to get the true, like, good ending, you have to have, over the course of the entire game, looked at that picture for a grand total of 30 plus real-world minutes.
Wow.
Guess
Wow.
what? That picture does nothing. You would think like, oh, maybe it causes your character to calm down or whatever. It's like, no, it literally is just look at the picture.
No, we hate you, so no, it does nothing.
Where did Bonk go? I replaced Bonk. I can always try to find another one, but the problem with Bonk was that it was too, like literally the audio file on the website is quiet, and it's also so short that I never notice it.
I will say, I think if you wanted to keep track of the stats that I'm mentioning, you would need obscure metrics like that to do that and have any meaningful anything. There's a webcomic. It's not Homestuck.
It's not Homestuck.
It's not Homestuck. That I really like, where because like you know how the main stats in the video game are like I don't know strength, like dexterity, intelligence,
stamina.
This game that I'm talking about has 3 stats as well, or webcomic, but it's framed like a game. This webcomic has 3 stats, but they're imagination, vim, and pulchritude.
What the fuck is the third one?
Vim?
Pulchritude, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, pulchritude is just a term for beauty.
Oh, okay.
That is the ugliest word for that, I think.
Yeah, so it's not like someone being vain, right?
Well, no, the stats, because basically it's just like imagination is straightforward. Vim is just like your physical strength, and pulchritude is your charisma. So it's like imagination, strength, charisma. But they just use really obscure names for them. It reminds me of how in Monster Prom, or Monster Camp, I think, and maybe Monster Road Trip, they have those like items. There's like special drinks that will change the names of all your stats to really random weird shit.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That
I
was
remember
great.
that.
I just like the ideas of games using more unorthodox, weird, obscure vocabulary for their stats than the normal stuff. Even if it is the traditional stuff, but just using weird synonyms for them.
I think there was a... oh, he's electrifying himself. I think there was a thing that I was writing for a while back where instead of strength, intelligence, and dexterity, I think I went with moxie instead of strength, savvy instead of intelligence, and panache instead of dexterity. And I liked those. I thought I was proud of myself for that.
Those are good. Disco Elysium does the exact same thing that I'm mentioning. They just use some weird stats. There's some stuff like physical instruments is obviously like your strength, but there's also a lot of more weird ones. I just like the idea of weird stats in video games. I think there should be more of those.
Well, because there's like a universal language when it comes to like modern video games, right? So it's like naming stuff. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even looking at the screen. Naming stuff weird has its place, and like I understand why that would be attractive to somebody who plays a lot of like stat-heavy RPGs and whatnot. But at the same time, to like a regular person, there's a reason why we use strength, intelligence, and dexterity.
Yeah, well,
and that's
fuck
because...
those normies.
I guess so. Like, did I ever tell you guys about that one game that I played at GDC in 2019, where like the whole point of the guy's game, it was like on display on the show floor, and like the entire point of the game was that he made it as obtuse as possible to play the game. Where it's like I remember I walk up, he hands me a PS4 controller, and I want you to take a wild guess. What do you think the button was on the PS4 controller to move forward?
Power button.
There's no power button.
There's
on
no
the
power
PS4
button on the
controller.
PS4 controller. I would remind you.
I don't know, that weird fucking trackpad in the middle.
Nope, it was left on the D-pad.
Strange.
And it was one of those things where it's like, why? And like the thing was that I was talking to the guy, and he was very candid. He wasn't doing it to be like ooh, I'm so good. It was more of just like, he was like, I want you. R1 is a good
fuck
guess.
Those normies.
Well, no, he was like, the point of what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create an experience of discovering what it means to play a video game for the first time. Because like, how weird would it be if you played a like PC game and W wasn't forward? You know what I mean? And like, to us that'd be insane, because it's like, why wouldn't you? But then to somebody who hasn't ever really played video games before, they look at that and they're like, why is it W? right?
It's to a certain degree, it's just arbitrary. That's what just happened. They just decided on that. I mean, technically, a long time ago, we could have done what T, F, H, and like B.
You can't say
G.
that, Saba.
Oh, sorry. Apologize. Ultimately, we could have chosen the formation could have been the same, maybe for ergonomic reasons or whatnot. But I'm pretty sure it, like, by probably coincidence, people decided on WASD. If not, it could have been TFGH. Okay.
I agree with the sentiment of like, there's a lot of things it could have been. You know what I mean? And so like that was one thing. I'm trying to remember what else there was. I remember he was like, "Yep, you have 4 powers that you can do in the game." Jumping is one of them. Good luck trying to figure it out. And I look at the guy dead in the eye and I immediately click in on both thumbsticks and jump straight up. and I felt so cool in that moment because I was like, if I was this fuckhead, what would I put jump as? And I was right. Oh, that was great.
Oh, I mean, to some degree, that means his way of thinking is still a little predictable, right?
And that's kind of the point, I guess, in my mind, where it's just like I can appreciate what he was doing, and I definitely liked the experience that I got. But it does kind of ring true to the idea of like, you know, things are the way they are because we use them. God damn it! What the? There it is. I couldn't remember the button to become a paper airplane. Got it. Mikey says, I'm so used to using a controller that keyboard controls would make pretzels out of my hands in seconds. I don't disagree necessarily. The number one thing that I detest about a badge. The number one thing that I detest about
that's a
PC
useful one for
controls
this area.
is I hate shift being like run, and I hate control being crouch. Because I don't want to use my pinky. I want to use my pinky in League to press Q, and that's it. You know?
Wait, you're using your pinky to press Q?
In League?
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if it's not League of Legends, I don't want to be using my pinky.
I don't want the pinky to exist.
I forgot that League is Claire, not WASD.
Yeah.
With your hand.
What is Quake Hammer?
So
to
Quake
attack,
Hammer
which slightly damages all ground enemies wearing 2 or more of these.
The really important thing about Quake Hammer is that it can flip enemies too.
Okay, so I should probably put this on then. What should
it would make fighting those stony, chargy guys a lot easier.
I got 2 happy hearts. I should probably get rid of 1 happy heart, I think. Put the Quake Hammer on. I think that's
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can force if I can force controller controls in a game, trust me, I will. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, you know, even right now, I'm playing a very legit version of Thousand Year Door with a PS4 controller, so it's like controllers do make a lot more sense. It depends on what you're playing, I guess, because there are definitely some PC games where it's like you need to have a mouse in order to do it properly. What the fuck? He's so fast!
Welcome! Fight Zach immediately.
I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
Adrian, what was the topic we were talking about?
I was talking about just weird stats to use in video games.
Oh yeah, you were saying that you want them to use like more weird stuff in general.
Now, would you still, like, if you were to combine, let's say, so would you still want base stat, like the regular kind of stats you have all the time, or would you want like the game to be just based solely off of like unusual stats?
Disco Elysium and Shadowrun do a similar thing where you could have very simple, like overarching, like parent stats, and then within those substats that are based on those, but all extremely specific.
Because I think both could be like really cool and unusual to like do, or like yeah, I'm just gonna say unusual. Because like one of them, it's like, imagine you don't have like a stamina stat. It's more like, though I'm wondering, regardless of like, if I were to say like, oh, how like excitable a person is before they like, I don't know, erupt in like a kind of like something kind of thing. Like, would that still count as still like, or like someone gets really stressed out and they stop functioning? Would that still just basically be like a stamina stat, and we're just calling it something different?
I feel like it would fall under like a mental stat of some sort, but it would serve a similar purpose as far as like, I don't know, like having that be like sanity or something, or
Yeah. Can we escape? You think it being like similar to something that already pre-exists?
probably if you try hard enough.
You could probably
Yeah.
find something out. I remember there was a before I got into D&D because of Dimension 20, I was trying to figure out a way to have like, I would describe like a handful of core stats that when you cross them with each other, like if you took this stat and then average them out, that would result in essentially any other stat you could possibly want. But there was always like edge cases. I think I told you about it, Saba. I think I showed you where like one of the stats was like slyness or whatever, where it's like that was the one. Like if you were trying to like deceive someone, it would be slyness and charisma, and you know, stuff like that. And it was just like it kind of worked, but there was always like outliers where it's like, well, what two stats would I cross to throw this baseball really high in the air? And it's like, I guess just strength, right? Yeah, but what if I'm trying to hit a target? It's like, okay, I guess strength and precision? I don't know.
I like the idea of starting with like a fun category like clumsy, and the more you level that up, you actually become less clumsy, because like the more clumsy you are, like you hurt yourself more.
So your
like
default is that you are as clumsy as can be.
Yeah, so you start off with the worst stat.
If you're into that concept, Saba, do I have a game for you called Mods for Project Zomboid? Because the modding community for that game is so intense that there's a person who made an entire mod system where you dynamically gain traits and lose traits based on your character's stats, which is already partially in the game. One example is the game keeps track of your body weight, and it has impacts on your character. If you're too overweight, you will probably fail to climb fences. If you're too underweight, you become anemic. This mod expands upon that concept so that a clumsy character at the start can lose clumsy by leveling up their like nimble skill. You can become alcoholic or lose alcoholism by going cold turkey, but that has its own downsides and whatnot.
So that there's still like a counter to like skills, you would say.
A cowardly character can become brave just by killing enough zombies and surviving for long enough, for example. And keep in mind, all of the downsides to like all the negative traits you can start with, the trade-off to starting with any of those, if you want, is you get more points to spend on good perks. So I have a friend who plays that game a lot, where every time he plays a character, he always starts in the zombie apocalypse with a character who is grievously injured, has both of his legs broken, is covered in burn marks, and is like severely underweight. Which is a character that has a real bitch of a time trying to survive in zombie apocalypse. But the thing is, all those negative perks give him a shitload of other points to work with, so that once he has resolved all of those by healing, he actually is like high above the other characters as far as like once he has a fully healed character, because he takes downsides that are all negative temporarily until he finishes healing.
Okay.
So yeah, the game does that concept, I guess, pretty well. I will say that in multiplayer, that also creates a fun thing of like, okay, well, my character isn't starting with every single cripple in the world, every single disability. So like my character usually, whenever we play together, I start off with a starter quest in that game of like, okay, I gotta save my friend's ass or he's gonna get killed by zombies. But if I do, he's gonna heal and then he's gonna be really good, which is like the exact same framework as like in Fire Emblem. They always have the archetype like, oh, NPC that starts weak but then they get strong. My friend plays as that NPC, which I think is really cool that you can do that in that game.
It's a neat concept.
It is a neat concept, I think.
I didn't want to gloss over this real quick of just, you recall, this is for Saba. I don't know if you were paying attention, but like, remember how last time we saw these three, Beldam was yelling at Vivian for losing the sketch of the guy that they're looking for? And then Vivian, through tears, insisted, no, you had the sketch. And Beldam goes, I have the sketch, do I? Well, if I had the sketch, I would have kept it right here. And then pulls out the sketch.
Ah! Thank you.
What are you talking about?
That's really funny. That's really funny.
Unknown.
But anywho, okay, so I like, okay, from what you're saying, that is interesting. I'm wondering though, without even giving you like any reverse stats, like I don't want to include the number. I just want it to be clumsy, to which you upgrade and you become less clumsy. Or I want it to be like some arbitrary funny stuff that it's just like you start off with like the worst of this stat and then you get like better, but it's always called like the worst version of that stat.
So you want a character? So like, is this optional? Can you opt into this in turn for something good, or do you just start off as a really shitty character?
I think you just start like maybe you're like the unluckiest like person out there alive, I guess. And so you just happen to be clumsy. You happen to like apparently have a resting, face that causes like people to want to fight you and steal your money. And I don't know, you get better from there. Okay.
I like the idea of a stat that determines how often you go through random encounters that is justified by your character just looking really mean and irritable.
Yeah. So it's just like I think that'd be kind of funny.
That one's really funny. I like that. I like the idea of being able to opt into like at first it's just natural, but then later on your character controls it and you can like adjust the encounter rate by looking and being more nice. But if you want to grind, you can just look really mean and itch for a fight all the time.
Fuck.
Man, that was a pretty good thought. I just man, I'm trying to see if there's anything else I've left in my brain in terms of like unusual stats.
Man, this lucky path doesn't really like procking, does it?
It might have already run out if you've been waffling for too long.
No. Well, how would I know?
I think it lasts. I was gonna say. I think it lasts. I don't remember how long it lasts actually. I think it was 15 minutes or something.
For the max one, I bought the most expensive. I thought you guys said it was like an hour.
It might have been an hour. I don't remember the numbers.
I'm about to say 15 minutes for something that costs 50 is insane.
True.
Let's see. I had an idea and then I forgot it. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, you upgraded Coops, right?
No.
Oh, you upgraded Bella. Okay.
I don't think I upgraded anybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you ended up doing that though.
Nope. I was told that I could save them just in case there was someone later. And I do believe that there is one guy later on that I have a lot of intention of using. He's a partner character that can change color. Adrian probably knows who that is.
Oh boy. Well, I wouldn't say change color so much as be a different color and then be
but that's
locked
what I mean.
forever.
I guess is that.
Are you gonna try to manipulate so you get the color you want?
Oh, absolutely not. There's no way.
Okay.
Manipulation?
It's not that hard as far as I can
like
tell. It just relies on the in-game timer, which you can check.
You bet your butt if there's any type of customization available, I'm gonna figure it out and choose what I like.
Oh, he's not dead.
I have a question for you guys relating to stats, but not necessarily obscure weird stats. So I'm going to run a game where the concept is you're all part of an adventuring guild and you're all trainees, and the first little bit is going to be like, oh, you're going through the training or whatever, and then like after that they go on their adventures, and there's like factions within this like guild or whatever.
Okay.
I am employing a concept which I think is quaint and I like a lot, although I can see why there's frustration, which is basically like old RPGs did this a lot, where they would start you off with like a little quiz or vignette or like weird like little decisions you could make that would determine stats later on. Kingdom Hearts is notable for this. What I want to know is, do you guys like that concept, and or to what degree of obscurity or opaqueness are you able to tolerate / enjoy, as far as like when the questions are weird but they still like have impact on your stats? Because like there are games like there's a lot of RPGs where they give you like a quiz at the start of like, oh, what's your personality choice on this, and that determines a stat that you get later on.
Yes.
My answer to this would be relatively quick in that I like it because it's like personal expression, right? Where it's like, oh, we think that you would fit into this category. The point at which I don't like or appreciate it anymore is when I don't have the option to like not exactly try again, but to like modify stuff. You know what I mean? I think a really good example of this is picking your starter Pokemon in like a mystery dungeon game, where
right
now you take the test and then you get to it, like even if like you take the test and it's like, hey, we suggest this, but if you want, you can have any of these. So yeah,
I would say that I like it too as a form of self-expression, though you would have to, I think there's two versions of this. One where you would have to make it kind of like
I'll get to you in a second,
not
Mikey.
generic enough, but it's like personality stuff that like is very like indicative. It's not like, you know, like, would you jump out in front of this guy, or like, you know, to save him in a fight, like stuff that's like super obvious on like what it is.
Would
like, I
you
think it'd be fun to be more
participate in
personal.
Burger King foot fetish?
Oh, exactly. And it would have to be like, you know, really personable like that. The only caveat being like it can't be so confusing on what it is that it becomes suddenly the opposite of what someone thinks. It could be like, would you like, if you were in like if you're trapped in a study, what would the first thing you do? Like read a book, like blah blah blah, like, and then suddenly it turns out reading the book lends you to being like lazy or something, and I'm just like, what the,
I mean,
what the
that
hell?
would
Why
obviously
would that
be
be that?
insane.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I think that what Zach is mentioning applies most when there's like opacity and it's not exactly clear what ties to which. I think it's probably, oh my god, you got owned. Or will you? Fuck, no, you got owned.
Fuck this guy.
I own you.
I think it's probably more acceptable not to have the option when it's more clear what ties to what and what the impact of your like answers is.
I could agree to that. That makes sense.
So like, for example, one of the things that I am doing this campaign is like, there's gonna be a multiple choice quiz where like basically there's two factions, one that's all about like protecting other people in the faction, and one that's all about like defeating evil. And there's a question on this quiz where it's like, okay, your friend is hanging off a cliff, but the bad guy's getting away. Which do you go to help or go after?
that one's like, okay, which one's your favorite
That one's
color,
a
red or
little
blue?
morally like.
So,
Like, I guess
that
you
one's
give defeating evil, but like, come on, man.
well, that one's really obvious, right? So I
Yeah.
feel like if you answer and then like, I don't know if you necessarily deserve to like go back and retry if you're unsatisfied with the outcome, given how obvious that feels to me.
I could agree with that one, because that one's pretty obvious.
Okay, and if people are fine, because there are some people that kind of be like with the scenario, it's like, oh, I wanted to be fighting the evil, but I also
I got it! Holy shit, you have to wait
it.
so
Nice.
long for that.
I was gonna say the timing is long for that.
It's
yeah.
so delayed.
You gotta let him spin, dude. If you
So much
press too
stuff.
early, he cancels the animation.
Very nice.
If I may, I just want to read, because Mikey's had a thing sitting here for a while. So I don't know how well it would work since it'll be through Parsec. Well, it'll need Saba to pay attention, but I think it'd be funny if Obo and Saba were co-op play Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. We could probably actually do that.
I feel like the delay
Down
would be
for
a big
whatever.
killer.
But that's the thing, is that there's not really a lot of delay, although Saba's been having some issues with lag recently, so I don't know.
But you know, we have been flooded by, you know, a lot of rain, so that could be the reason that I can't really do much about
Well, that's
that.
what I mean.
So.
That's still an issue with lag, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
So I mean,
But-
that's not necessarily the worst idea. I can't remember which one's the one that's not super great. Is that Partners in Time?
Partners in Time was okay.
Because obviously, like, Bowser's Inside Story is excellent, and I think Superstar Saga is like pretty good, right?
It's classic. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember one of them is on my list to play, and the other one Grant told me is like kind of milk toast. So that's not bad. That's not a bad idea, and it would be pretty. It genuinely would be pretty funny for like me to be Mario and Saba's Luigi. Paper Jam is the mid one. Paper Jam is the one that fucking killed Alpha Dream, so I'm never playing that.
I was gonna say Dream Team and Paper. Everything after Bowser's Story is really not good.
Unfortunate.
I mean, I'm biased, so I think that Superstar Saga is like just slightly better than Midnight Story, but they're both really, really good games. And the Parts Time is like third. It's strongly mid. It's not bad, but it's not good. And then Dream Team Paper Jam are like the worst ones.
Did I just get no?
Oh yeah, I should finish what I was saying before.
Oh, sorry.
But ultimately, I feel like you want them to be really obvious in their choices, Adrian. Like, you want their characters to be very strongly attuned with their choices.
Well, the thing is that, like, I'm running a tabletop game, and those generally function better when you have a linear narrative, and it's a little weird when you go back and try to retcon stuff in those. So...
Okay, yeah. So it's like, if you're playing a type of game where it's kind of like, oh, this character obviously is X, or, like, will obviously go, like, kill the bad guy, then, like, that makes sense, your question. I was like thinking more along the lines of, well, okay, if you have someone who like has like a general idea of what they want to do, but like moralistically they're also like, even though they want to defeat evil, they want to like, you know, not throw their friend under the bus, that could like still like make them a little like, I would technically go save my friend, but because my character's X, I guess then that isn't a problem then.
It's kind of interesting that you're choosing to frame this as like a quiz. Because I'm sure you've done what I'm about to say like a million times, but like, if it was just like a prelude or like a prologue, where you put them in these actual situations and then like had them pick, I guess it would be a lot more diegetic or feel a little bit less scummy. Well, but then at the same time, like, I don't really think, I think it's fine. I think what you're doing now is clear enough.
I said quiz for the simplicity's sake, but the actual imitation that I was going to do was like put them not in the actual scenario, but like in a training scenario where that happens.
A simulation.
So like a little more like in the moment, I guess.
Yeah, I like them though. I think the one thing that I recalled, something I don't like, is that it doesn't Pokemon like Mystery Dungeon have like an enormous list of questions, but then they'll like pick out a few of them. But depending on what type of questions you get, it can also push you into stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like even though you would have answered differently to like a couple of other questions, if they give you a fully different set, like you could have potentially gotten 2 different like people, which I think that's kind of frustrating, because if you were to, I like the idea of like just give me like everything and then from that determine, because now I feel like, oh, was I like unfortunately cornered into like X character, when in reality, if I answered like 2 more questions, or if you had replaced 2 questions with 2 other questions, I would have been someone completely different.
Well, I was gonna say, if I'm not mistaken, the Mystery Dungeon series games does unfortunately have that conundrum where, like, at least in the early ones, not about the later ones, but they have it where like the questions they give you can be so that it's literally impossible to get a certain Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't like that to happen in like those kinds of quiz stuff.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I feel like.
Oh my God! Wait, water! Oh, snow. That was really slow in comparison to the first 2. That was a lot of damage
to just take in a row.
I was gonna say, yeah, you gotta be careful here. You're gonna.
I didn't know what was happening.
They're casting magic at you. They got the magic. Don't be afraid to use your items.
I'll do a honey syrup, sure. But, man, I do think it's really funny how, like, right out of the gate for today's stream, I was like, all right, Adrian, we're gonna plow through some of your banter topics, and then you proposed like 2 fucking bangers like right in a row. It's like, these are good topics.
I did not think they would have that much substance to them.
Well, because they're design questions.
So we could talk more. Because it's funny, because we see the banter ideas and they're just existing there like for the longest time, and we're like, Adrian, please just show up so we can talk about it. And they're fun. Like, I like personalized quiz questions.
Yeah. I really like the idea, which is why I'm doing it, implementing it, of a party that goes through like a training prolude or like prologue, and their decisions in that prologue will have repercussions later on in the thing. Like not game like ending like major like things, but like a nice little starting thing that a little bias, if you will, towards certain paths. Wow, you took out both of them.
Oh, okay, never mind. I think we're fine.
Yeah, she's gonna deal more damage. You gotta be careful there.
I can't believe you would whack a lady with a giant hammer.
I will say that it may be prudence to, when you know you're going to go to a boss, switch to like Power Smash, for example, so you can do more damage.
I didn't know
all
I
at
was
once.
going into a boss.
Oh, well.
You're here now, Zach.
Fuck! Jesus Christ.
That was that charge ability, which, by the way, you can get that later on yourself.
That's sick.
I don't know how preferential you are to setup in video games.
Dead. And when I leveled up,
They were 10 XP each.
Wow.
all three of
good
them were the equivalent
job.
of one giant ancient dragon. Ta-da! And what's he gonna pick? What's he gonna pick? When is Adrian solo streams, he carries these. Excuse you, it's genuinely a coin flip whether or not Adrian is here to buoy stream or to completely demolish it with nonsense.
It's not exactly a coin flip. It is largely depending on whether Grant's here or not.
Take revenge on Zach.
Which, by the way, I did stream. I used to stream a lot when I was in college. I used to try to stream drawings and no one showed up!
Well, Adrian, it's clear. If anybody has demonstrated it, it's clear that your problem was that you weren't a anime VTuber.
True.
I thought you were gonna say something really harsh, like a good artist or something. I was gonna be like, Zach, no.
Adrian's a fucking great
Never mind
artist.
VTuber.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He was like, thank God we didn't go down that road. I don't know. Zach has his face.
Well, by the way, if
Zach
you
is
press pause
charismatic. Saba's a girl.
if you press
Nice.
pause and go to the Mario
True.
tab, it uses the
Not
Paper
the first
Mario
part,
1
the latter
head for
part.
that.
That is just a
Oh, yeah, look at that.
reality.
That's from Paper Mario 1. You can tell because he's weirdly darker. Yeah.
I like
Alright.
this. Is
Let's
good.
let's churn through another one of these. I already did caveman moment.
Oh, was that not? Did I not take that one off?
Yeah, it's still there.
My bad.
Okay, this one should be shallow, I think. Slice of life. It can be kind of boring sometimes. I do think that adding a supernatural or otherwise unusual element is what saves every good slice of life, personally. I think that a slice of life's instantly better if there's like an orc there.
There's like an orc there. I mean, well, because that's the thing is that I think in that case, then you need that extra little bit in order to make slice of life like engaging. Because obviously, there's a lot of extremely popular slice of life where it is literally just like kids going to school every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it better? I tend to think it's a little more interesting. I like it when I guess slight spoilers, not really, but like one of my favorite parts about JoJo's Part 4 is that for I want to say the first like 20 episodes, it's just a slice of life but in the JoJo's universe, and you just get to see what like regular people do with their lives with weird supernatural ghost powers. You know what I mean? And there's something about that where like the being able to see what people do in their regular lives is interesting when otherwise they're always in combat or in peril of death or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think that, and I also think that like
How am I supposed to hit this guy when he's electrocuted?
either earth tremor or an item. You can also just defend and wait for him to come down.
I'll just do an earth tremor. I'll just build it up again. If I had
I'm
known,
excited
I
to
would
see how
have.
far he gets.
If I had known, I would have saved it for the rock too. But
But yeah, I will say that I think whenever a media switches to, like, I don't know, I think that slice of life is really fun when it's tempered out and balanced out by some weird, freaky, or supernatural aspect to it. Like, I would
So, like,
personally...
supernatural, not like drama? You just want something serious, or you want something like fantastic?
Like, I still want the chill tone. I just want there to be weird stuff in the background, or like weird stuff in the setting that's like in there. Like I said, just like throw an orc in there, or like a goblin or something, and it's instantly a lot funnier and better. Like I don't know. Personally, I don't have any attachment to Bloodborne, but I would like to watch a Bloodborne slice of life. I don't know how they do it. But...
Genuinely, a Bloodborne slice of life would just be a horror TV show. But I get what you're trying to say.
no, because that's not the tone I'm going for. I want Melina to just like sit there and be like, so bloodless or whatever you're called. How about them sodas?
I mean, in a legitimate way, if you were doing like a slice of life set in the Bloodborne universe, you would probably have it at the Castle Bergenworth College, right? Because that's like the centerpiece for a lot of the story, and then you have a lot of like the prerequisite where like you could just have the main characters be students at Bergenworth and stuff like that. So, in hindsight, I guess it could work, but once again, there would have to be that episode at some point where your professor walks in and is like, all right, everybody, we're putting eyes on your brain. Get hype.
Eyes on your brain.
I was using an example. It was not a good example given I don't know anything about Bloodborne, but I don't know. I just think that Slice of Life is way more fun, interesting, and more appealing to me specifically when there is just like literally anything that's not normal in there.
So you just want it to be like an interesting world, like lore and stuff within the world. Like it doesn't matter, like the slice of life can be as chill as you want. You just want like interesting world lore. Or world
yeah, kind of.
Okay. That could be pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know what you want from me. I was trying to discern what he was saying.
I didn't like the way that you said okay. There you go. I got one. God damn.
Mario, you should be dead. Getting struck by lightning like 40 times. It's not good for the health.
He's a plumber. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Like I said, that one was pretty shallow. I just think that slices of life are more interesting when there's like an orc there, for example. Not specifically an orc, but just like conceptually an orc, a theoretical orc, if you will.
A theoretical orc. I think I mentioned it before, but like I always find that to be really fascinating on when you go back to rewatch like Hitman Reborn, which I know Sabo's familiar with.
Yes.
When you go back to rewatch Hitman Reborn, it did genuinely start as a slice of life. And it's really funny because it had the exact thing that Adrian's talking about, where the point of that manga was that it was originally supposed to just be a slice of life, where this like weird baby mafia dude shows up randomly and just like and makes things like wacky and interesting. And then like people were so much more interested in this like backstory of this hitman baby that they were like, can we get more of that? And then slowly over the course of like a dozen chapters, the entire thing of Hitman Reborn, it turned into like a shonen manga, like just a shonen manga. It was like, what the fuck? It's pretty
great. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm like pretty happy with it because like the first stuff was pretty cool too, but it's like, wow, the stakes get higher, or this crazy stuff happens. Second,
I mean, it still has like I would still say it still has a lot of the same problems that I have with a lot of shonen stuff. In terms of like power creep and abandoning concepts for no reason, yada yada. But man, that show is really fun. And God, what was the name of that final arc that they did in the animated series where they went up against like that rival family and like literally?
I was too young to remember arc names. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, because all I mean to say is that I remember. I had stopped watching it halfway through whatever that arc was when they were going up against that rival family who had their own set of like family rings, because they were the Von Gola family and they had like their own set because they were a different family. And apparently right at the episode where I stopped, the very next episode is where they introduced one of the most popular characters from the fandom, because she has these fucking buck wild gravity powers where like she fucking pulverizes people into like a single marble and then like launches them into space and stuff, because once again the show's crazy. And then also she has a very let's say marketable visual design. And that was the thing where like all of my friends were like, you gotta watch the next episode, and I'm like, nah, I'm done. And they're like, you don't understand, Zach, you gotta watch it. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Oh man.
Disney Plus is bringing back Phineas and Ferb for 2 20-episode seasons. Cool. I hope they're good.
I actually have a question for you, Zach. A philosophical categorizing question, if you will.
Before we get into this, can we do this scene first and then we get into this?
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you. Just because I want Saba to fully experience this character.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, my necklace. Please leave the necklace by the door and wait a moment.
She needs to assemble herself like a
She needs to get
Avenger.
herself all gussied up. Oh, so ravishing necklace. I'm awash with joy.
What's happening? Oh my god. Oh my god.
What do you think?
My
Welcome to
God.
Madame Fleury.
Oh my god.
This is a Mario game. Obviously, Mario games have had characters in the past, but man, Madame Fleury.
Yeah, but like,
out.
dang, that's like 80% of a sphere, okay? Of a circle.
One of my favorite parts of the Game Grumps playthrough of this was that Aaron had obviously seen the game before and Dan hadn't, because he doesn't play video games. And then Madame Fleury comes out, they obviously do their whole bit and it was hilarious. And then after like the whole bit with Madame Fleury ends, Dan goes, wait a minute, was the first thing you ever see of Madame Fleury her tit? Because it is. You get a very short glimpse of her through the doorway before the camera cuts, and it's the fucking half sphere of her boob, and it's like, what the fuck? Anywho, feel free to go off, Adrian, if you want.
I'm in shell shock now.
I just wanted to ask a question, which Zach may or may not opine on, if you will. Oh fuck's sake, I just misclicked the video game. Zach, do you think that early Dungeon Meshi qualifies as slice of life?
I would almost argue no, because typically slice of life does not have an overarching objective. It has elements of slice of life, certainly, right? Because it's essentially the daily lives of these adventurers going into the dungeon. But I would argue that it's not a slice of life manga, because they have an objective. And all of the slice of life stuff that I've seen before, the current objective is to like pass the test or get the job or date this girl or whatever. There's not like a big overarching thing like we gotta get to the red dragon.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I hope that answer was sufficient. What made you think of that?
I was just thinking, because I remember seeing someone somewhere describing a slice of life, and I was like, that's an interesting take. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's interesting.
I wouldn't describe that as like a totally off base take from whoever this is. It's more just along the lines of like, I think it has qualities of slice of life, but it would definitely be more akin to just like a generic adventure manga. You know what I mean?
I will say that I do think that qualifier applies only to early Dungeon Meshi, not to later Dungeon Meshi.
Oh, absolutely. Later Dungeon Meshi, it gets so fucking thick with lore. It's like, what the fuck?
Pretty good. February 15th. The adventure continues.
Happy birthday. Oh, that reminds me, by the way, happy Friday the 13th,
yes.
Everybody.
Oh yeah, happy horror day.
Oh yeah!
There's no
Should've
second
been a scary
R.
game.
Happy horror day.
What do you want from me? That's how you
No, I say it too, which is why I'm with you on this, Sava. There is no second R.
There is
I'm not repentant.
second R.
I'm not repentant. There's no second R, let alone a third R.
You know what? You know what's really funny? Because I like, obviously in a real sense, I know it's fine, right? But one of the things that's really funny is that like a typical Boston accent has you drop the R's on a lot of things and you replace it with like an ah sound, right? So like my mom, when she says horror, she says horror, which is better than what you guys are saying.
How dare you?
Oh,
That should be illegal.
hello, Jesse.
Hello, Jesse.
Hello, Jesse.
Madam Flurry.
Yes.
I have witnessed this character for the first time about 5 minutes ago,
Twitch
Jesse.
enemies
It was
with her
pretty.
stage presence is the what it just said.
Madam
It was
Flurry.
pretty crazy.
It's a very polite way to say it. Tactful, if you will.
She is a full-figured cloud. I can definitely say that. So Jesse, before we make any progress in the game, A, thank you for joining us, and B,
Yes.
I wanted to discuss with you briefly a conundrum that we have been faced with when it comes to Pokemon Coliseum. So for reasons unknown to me, I have my suspicions, but for reasons unknown to me, Grant has started playing a Divinity Original Sin 2 playthrough with his boss on Sundays. Apparently, it is immovable. It has to be on Sundays.
He's gonna get fired if he doesn't play it.
I genuinely, I think it's because he's fishing for a raise, which is fine because he
So he
needs
has
it.
to play a game for his boss.
Well, with his boss, I think he's trying to get buddy with his boss, so he's like can get promotions and stuff. But once again, Grant's real like this is Grant's closest shot to like quote unquote make it in the industry. So all power to him. Now the problem with that is that he says that their session starts at 5 p.m. E, and he would want at least an hour to like unwind from stream before then. To you know, to do all that nonsense. So which means that we would have to be finishing by 4 p.m. E, which is what we had already talked about.
E.
And then Eastern.
E.
And then the minimum amount of time that I want to go on Thursdays is 3 hours, meaning that we would be starting at 1 p.m. E, assuming that we did this. Now, 1 p.m. E is obviously 10 a.m. for you guys, and I don't think that that's really fair. Especially to play, like, Pokemon Coliseum on stream. So, I am currently faced with the conundrum of, do we just do Pokemon Coliseum without Grant? Which would be sad, but we've been waiting to do Coliseum for a really long time. Or do Saba and I just play Prince of Persia and hope that by the time we finish Prince of Persia, Grant's done with his Divinity Original Sin 2 playthrough? So, my question for you is, which one would you prefer, I guess?
I think option 2 should work fine.
So you're I mean, obviously it's not a huge deal, but you're okay with just like postponing.
Yeah, I am fine
Coliseum?
waiting more. Because I know. I am a patient man. I can wait.
Mikey, I can't control that you're across the Atlantic, all right? Like that's not my prerogative or in my control. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll do that, Saba. I guess we'll just do Prince of Persia and then Coliseum, hopefully. Because I swear to fucking God, if this gets delayed anymore, I'm going to explode. And then after Coliseum, I think we'll do Tunic. Just because I'm going to need a palate cleanser.
Yo,
after
Fox.
Coliseum.
Fox Link?
Yes. Link.
I like Flink.
Oh, we got Madame Flurry. But yeah, that was the main reason why I just wanted you to stop by, because me typing all that out and making it understandable would have been hard for me. So is everyone dead? What the fuck happened?
I'm playing a video game and this has nothing to do with me.
I'm dying in other ways. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited for Zach to see the graphics of Prince of Persia and then like be like, and then play the game.
Kasaba is the Prince of Persia, right?
It's true.
I am the
Famously.
man. Famously, indeed.
You can jump around and climb on the walls.
Yep.
I do actually have to double check to make sure, because Prince of Persia is owned by Ubisoft, right? Am I right?
It's been a while.
That sounds right.
I'm pretty confident that it's I'm pretty confident that it is, because the problem with that would be a lot of Ubisoft games, especially older ones, require you to launch through Uplay, and Uplay fucking sucks. So I'm gonna have to double check to see if
did
that
they
works.
re-release that game? I don't remember.
There was
if they-
like a collection.
If they did, I don't know if I bought it.
when I recall.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Gale
bee.
Force. You can just win the battle.
Well, I will
If
say
it
it is the
is.
specific Prince of Persia. I think you're playing the specific one that I have still currently. I think it's... I don't remember actually. Let me look it up. Was the title? Games. It is... The Forgotten Sands. That's the one I think we're playing.
It's literally the one that's on the schedule, whichever one that one is.
I know. There was two routes of me finding the name, and I just went with one of them. Okay, Zach?
Uh-huh. You don't mind? Get out of here. Oh, boom.
Man, Flurry sure does some blowing, folks.
Okay.
She got those. She got those. Never mind.
You got the Thunder one.
No!
She got. Jesse said it. Jesse said it perfectly. She got thunder lungs.
Uh-huh.
Under lungs.
I don't know.
Yes,
Is this gonna
indeed.
line up the two cursors? What the fuck?
Yep.
The stylish is right after she lands for that.
Right
Yeah.
after she land, like on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
She does like a little tee-hee.
Wait,
This
does this
is,
game have both foot fetish and inflation? There's no inflation
We're
yet.
staying with this, huh? We're staying with this as our side character now?
Well, we're gonna
Well-
need her.
Yeah, you
Okay.
do need her.
True.
She is good.
Like,
Yeah.
if I body slam on this guy, is it gonna hurt?
It will hurt.
Reinforced.
Flurry is, like, mechanically probably my least favorite character.
Mechanically, huh?
Yeah.
Is she your favorite in another category?
She has the largest blazongas, as in she has blazongas. I don't know what you want
Once
me to say,
again,
Saba.
once again, I will reiterate that I appreciate it when people are honest about this sort of thing.
What else do you want me to say, Saba?
I did nothing. I just needed to know whether or not she was your favorite in any other category, okay?
Alright, okay, Saba.
It's interesting when a character takes up both your least favorite and your favorite spot in like different categories.
She's not my favorite character as far as who I think is the most attractive character. But she does objectively have the largest boobies.
Is the
Okay.
is the person who you think is the most attractive, do they just so happen to be purple as well?
I don't know. It's a toss-up between that character and Goombella. I like Goombella. Goombella's cool. I like her fucking straggletooth.
Oh, actually, now I think about it, you two were the ones who were fighting against Grant to get
True.
Goombella on the team. I guess I guess I could switch to Goombella and actually start like tattling on enemies.
True, and you can get the
Revealing
lore.
all their secrets.
Goombella has personality when she tattles. She'll usually say a little quip about the monster too. She doesn't just give you facts only. Pretty good.
So good.
Oh yeah. Punio.
Punio. Ah, yes, Punio. It's been an age since I've seen
Is
you.
the boy.
Look at him. Crush him. Smashing you with a hammer. Although I guess
Smash
it's more of
kill
a
you with
mallet.
rock.
But whatever.
Same difference.
This is the thing, right? Where I gotta blow somewhere? I don't remember. They probably told me a bunch. There it is.
Brother, mistakes.
Secret entrance.
The boy Punio.
Boy. Adrian, do you have another banter topic?
Wouldn't you like to know?
A lot. He does, yes.
I do have one that should be not substantive, given the topic it actually is about. Are any of you aware with the manga Komi-san Can't Communicate?
Oh yes, with
What
the line
about
with
it?
the show and like
The
yeah.
one that plagues Reddit every day. Yes, unfortunately, I am familiar with it.
Now, Zach, you may or may not remember years ago, before it was popular, hipster me as always, trying to recommend you this manga back in
I
college.
don't remember this, and in hindsight, I wish I would have punched you.
Now, see, the thing is, this was before the fandom was that annoying.
Okay.
Before it became a hit.
See now the thing you
Before it
could have gotten
became-
in early before it became bad, Zach.
Yeah,
Think
like
about
me.
it.
And
Like
then
I
you could
did
have
with
regretted your
JoJo.
investment. You could have regretted your investment just like me. But what I wanted to say about it, aside from the fact that the fandom is extremely annoying, as you mentioned.
They're all just so horny, man. That's like the main problem.
So, well, I mean, there's another glaring problem, and it's a specific character that's introduced very, very early on.
Oh no.
There is a character in that manga, because every character in that manga is archetypal. They're a basic anime concept of a character. And one of them is the yandere concept.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this is a manga about freshman high schoolers.
Freshman high schoolers.
So they're like 14.
Freshman. Okay.
Which
doesn't look
once
14,
once
yeah,
again,
yeah.
because this is a point of contention always. What's the
Never
age
do
of
know.
consent in Japan?
I don't know. I mean, the manga progressed. We're now in the manga. They're like 17, I think. But the point is, that's not relevant to this scenario.
It's not.
The point
Okay.
is, you don't need to think
The
about
thing
it.
I'm mentioning, the reason I mentioned they're 14 is because there's three characters important to. There's Komi, there's the main character love interest, and then there's this yandere character.
Okay.
In like chapter 4 or 5 of the manga, this character straight up kidnaps the main love interest into her house, ties him to a chair, and threatens to kill him with a knife.
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
yandere.
That is the definition. Yeah.
And then she doesn't face literally any charges for this, and is more or less just kind of handwave for the rest of the entire manga. And
What do
she
you mean?
persists
It's hilarious,
as a character.
Isn't it funny?
Right, but she persists. So this character sucks ass and is awful, right?
Okay.
I only recently just watched the anime, and the anime has a lot of faults, right? But most because they incite a lot of the fandom in bad ways. But I will say that, unfortunately, that yandere character has by leagues the best voice actor in the entire anime.
Oh no.
Oh.
Which is really conflicting for me because she's such a shit character, but that voice actor in the dub absolutely gave it her all and breeds like as much charm as is humanly possible into that character. So the topic I want to discuss was, because I don't watch anime or most media in general, but you guys do. So I wanted to ask, do you guys have your own experience of absolute dog shit characters of animes that are at least partially saved by really good voice acting?
I hate someone enough to.
By the way, you want to know something upsetting right now on the screen?
What?
What?
The tag on that bubble is a different color from the border of the bubble itself.
Yeah.
That's upsetting. Anyway, sorry, go on, Sava.
No, I was just saying, I'm trying to think of like a character I hate enough.
Where
In
they're
the first place.
redeemed by voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh! Look at this Vlad!
He's still smaller than Mario.
He's so round.
But he is big for a puny. He's not a puny.
Puniper! Hello, my name is Puniper.
Hello, my name's Puniper.
I don't think I can think of anything right now.
Yeah, I unfortunately this is just not the sort of thing that I just have like on my mind. So I can't really think of characters who I dislike that strongly that I then like because of their voice acting. Yeah. Unfortunate.
It's so weird because that character is absolute dog shit and I hate her. But damn, is her voice actor really good? Especially in the episode where she does the most heinous shit of kidnapping this guy as a 14-year-old and threatening to kill him with a knife. Which, by the way, they censor in the anime. Instead of a knife, she just has a chopstick.
Oh yeah.
Which is... I don't know. It feels inconsistent.
Adrian is conflicted because the voice acting is so good, but he knows he hates the character.
The character is objectively a bad character that doesn't, like, add... The character is not good for the show. The character should not be there.
This is very funny.
I was trying to think about it and I was just like, what's the last character who I hated? And then like immediately it flashed through my mind of like almost anybody from Seven Deadly Sins. But then I thought about it and I was like, do I like any of those characters because of their voice acting? And then I was like, no. So never mind. That's not relevant.
To be fair, they are supposed to be based on the Seven Deadly Sins.
No, but I mean, like even beyond the fact, well, because that's the thing, right? Is that like there's supposed to be there's supposed to be like seven like whatever criminals, and like yeah, they all broke the law in their own way, but they're not bad people, except for Greed, I guess, who is a bad person, and Merlin. But it was like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like they're just poorly written. Like, you know, one of the things that, and this is like tangential, I guess, but you know, one of the things that like really caught me off guard, but then my ex was like super okay with, and I have no idea why. Main character of Seven Deadly Sins, I can't remember his name. What is it? It's like the
Meliodas?
Yeah, Meliodas. Fucking
Meliodas?
in the first like 30 episodes of the anime or whatever, I want to say he has to have grabbed this one girl's tits at least like 25 times, and it's just
he's
like
kind of a perv, yeah, from what I've
right,
heard.
but then it's the sort of thing where it's just like that's just like oop, that's just part of his character. Is he likes just grabbing tits sometimes, and it's the thing where it's just like where I just look at her and I'm like, what? It's not even like this feeds into anything in the manga. It literally just feels like
a personality trait.
No, but it just feels like it's an excuse for them to show like squishy titty. You know what I mean? And it's just like that's a lot, I guess, in terms of like it's so blatant. It's like there's a difference between a beach episode and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although Seven Deadly Sins also has a beach episode, now I think about it. So.
Safe.
Jesse, do you have anything to say about bad characters redeemed by voice acting, at least partially?
Or squishy titties?
I need
Or
to
squishy
think about it.
Ooh, yikes.
Because I don't watch dub very often, so it's like...
Well, I mean, I don't know. Someone could save and sub like for you as well. Like it could be a really good voice acting sub voice.
Unless you speak Japanese, it gets a little difficult though, because then you're just going based on like intonation, not necessarily like I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a little bit different, I guess. What the fuck is that thing?
It is fun music.
What the
It's a
fuck?
yucks, I'm pretty sure.
What the fuck is even that?
From a
Maybe-
distance,
maybe you
it
could ask
looks a little
Goombella.
bit like Diddlebird.
You know what?
You say Dinkelberg?
I will switch to Goombella in a second. Dingleberry.
Dingleberry.
Ta-da!
Nice.
Stylish.
A little teehee.
Cool.
And then he makes him a tiny one.
Oh yeah, like now he's invulnerable. You have to target the little guy first.
Mini yucks. There is another variation of this.
Yeah, but it starts with a C.
Is it?
No, I'm making a cuck joke.
Mini cucks.
Oh no. They have come for us.
Well, Adrian, in an effort to give our fellow co-streamers the opportunity to think of an answer, would you like to bring up a separate banter topic, and then maybe we can circle back to this later?
Okay.
No, not that one. A different one.
Okay. How monstrivorous are you? This is basically just me rereading Dungeon Meshi and getting curious.
Would you eat a monster?
Well, I think everyone here has a monster they would eat. I'm more curious about what the boundaries are of what you would not eat. Because this is a point of contention in the manga where they discuss a decent amount.
I would if I may, I would appreciate it if you because if you ask me just like straight up, like what would you not eat? I don't remember if like minotaurs are like sapient beings in that realm. You know what I mean? Because like a minotaur is a little too close to like a person in order for me to feel comfortable. But it's also a cow. But it's also a cow, exactly. And that was like a thing in like a bunch of other stuff where it's like, would you eat minotaur? And I'm like, I don't think so, mostly because it's just too close to a human. So my question would be, could you list out monsters and then we say whether or not we would eat them?
I think it might be more productive to list out qualities of monsters and whether or not or how much that disqualifies them from you wanting to eat them or not.
Yes.
Because apparently Sapience is one of them for Zach.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to eat something that can think and feel. Like, I'm never going to eat an octopus.
All right. Interesting.
I just realized I got a badge upgrade and then never used it.
Yes, you still have those BD points missing.
Oops.
Oops, indeed. Okay. How much does it disqualify a monster from you eating it if it has a humanoid shape?
Very.
It's like, you know how many humanoid-like monsters
but not automatically.
are there?
So you might eat one if you were really persuaded to.
Hypothetically, there might be a monster that I don't know of. Oh, I got a thing. There might be a monster that I can't think of right now that I would consume, but every monster with a humanoid shape that I'm thinking of right now, I would absolutely not.
Okay,
so that's what I mean by like very no.
Well, let me bring up an example that might fit that criteria. Mandrakes. They're tiny plant people.
That's like a doll.
Right.
That's not humanoid enough. Like that's like a. I'm assuming because once again I'm assuming you're talking about the ones from Dungeon Meshi where it's like that's a little doll and yeah I could just chop that up. That's easy.
Well, I was gonna say they have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head sometimes.
Now, Zach, what would you say to something akin to a zombie, even though like without like any of the viral and blah 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 infection thing?
That's an obvious no.
Because
it's an obvious no.
It's like decaying like mad.
I'm about to say like I'm not gonna eat like rotten meat.
Because it's gross, just because it's like gross rotten meat. But like you could still
I genuinely think that yes, that takes precedent over the concept of it being a humanoid. Yes, the fact that it's rotting meat is below on the echelon of what would I eat or not.
What about like The Last of Us-ish, and that's like the mushrooms and fungus that grow on that is like delicious.
A fungal. Well, I mean, the problem is that underneath that there still was at one point a person, right?
Yeah, they're just decaying underneath.
I mean, in that context, if you take like the clickers from The Last of Us and you just like farm the mushrooms off of them, and the mushrooms by some weird facet are edible, That's just a regular mushroom, as far as I'm
But
concerned.
farmed off of dead people.
Which
And you're
is-
fine with that?
Well, no, in the sense of like I wouldn't purposefully infect people to harvest them, but if they were already dead and there was a way to like guarantee that it wouldn't cause any more infection, why not? They're already dead.
Okay, okay.
Like your question, like the logical extreme of your question is like if there's already dead people and no one was to like disagree with the decision, would I use them as fertilizer? Maybe.
Okay.
Here's
what I
here's a
mean?
big one, Zach.
Sorry.
What about harpy eggs?
Oh, you're talking now you're getting into some fucking interspecies reviewer shit. Fucking
Well, would you eat a harpy is another question.
I would not eat a harpy because as
Or
far
would
as
you
I'm
eat the
aware, they're
egg?
usually sapient.
Okay. But okay, let's say they're not. Let's say they are just hunter like bird brained, like literally. Would you eat a non-sapient
So
harpy?
in that case, you're just describing a big bird.
But it has a human face and potentially human chest.
Then no, because that's too humanoid.
Okay.
Yeah, but would you eat the egg?
But to Jesse's question of an egg, once again, I will ask, or not once again, I guess, but like in my mind, I've already asked this. Does the egg function like a chicken egg, where like the eggs that you get at the store were never fertilized to begin with? So,
Yeah.
like, so it does function the exact same, where it's like
Yeah.
where they lay eggs just by default.
Yeah.
I would, in my mind, I would chalk it up very similarly to like an ostrich egg. Would I ever go out and specifically look for ostrich eggs? Probably not. But if I was at a restaurant and they're like, hey, harpy egg omelet, do you want to try it? I'd be like, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, I want to ask. So much like humanoid form, is sapiency an instant disqualifier? Do you think?
To me or to anybody else?
Well, that question's open. I was hoping to get everyone's opinions.
Apparently no one's
guess-
going to answer.
I guess you can answer.
I don't know what Saba's doing. She must be doing something very important.
Of course.
Yes, sapience is an immediate disqualifier because the consumption of something with sapience beyond its natural death is murder.
Okay.
Now, the difference being that there are some things that have sentience, like they can sense their surroundings, but that's not sapience.
Right.
So, like so once again, an octopus has sapience, a cow has sentience.
Okay.
Yeah,
Saba
most likely
disagrees.
probably go along the line. I'd probably most likely go along similar lines. I guess if I don't, unless I don't think about it too much, then I'm just like, oh, by a certain point, like food becomes like food. But like it to minimize like, there are certain things that are. Oh my gosh, she's back!
It's her.
Saba's genuinely not looking at the screen.
The mouse.
She showed up earlier to knock out that guard. Did you not see that?
Oh, cool. It's the theme song that appeared, and I was like, huh?
And you're like, whoa!
She didn't notice because it was a black silhouette.
Yeah, man.
True.
I can't tell. I'm good with the
Away.
motifs. As soon as I heard the motif, I was like,
I'm
huh?
definitely going to be switching away from Flurry. I don't like Flurry's moves.
Now you understand, Zach.
It's fair.
They're just awkward to use. And also, she just has like another jump ability.
It's fair.
Yes, except she doesn't have multi-bounce.
Yeah.
She doesn't have multi-bounce, and then when she can't jump on anybody, she doesn't have the option to tattle.
I mean, she can technically blow enemies away, but that's
That's
much.
that's 4 FP to do
it's
that.
very expensive for not a lot of value.
Yeah, I got a red key. How do I? Yeah, there you go. I'll do Coops for now, and then I'll go back and upgrade Goombella, I guess.
Badges.
Thank you, because I was just about to do that. The
15? You have 15?
what?
Oh, you have 3 left. I can't count. Power bounce.
Use this.
There's not really enemies that you can stomp on that would need their defense lowered.
Genuinely, I kind of want
Just
Happy
get more
Heart.
happy heart.
Yeah, just to like
back more
slowly
HP.
heal myself back up, you know?
Yo, power smash though.
I mean, I might do Happy Heart and Power Smash, actually.
The meta for this game involves having Mario at 1 HP in peril all the time.
It's true, but that's for speedrunners.
That is for speedrunners, which Zach is not one, unfortunately.
Zach is not a
Unfortunately.
speedrunner.
I thought didn't I switch?
No, you didn't. You just got to her. You switched to her on the menu, but you didn't press the button.
There we go. Okay. Thank you, Coops. Coops.
Oh, Coops.
Oh, Coops. Coopy.
Oh, Coopy Poopy.
Oh my god.
All right. Anything else that you wanted to bring up in regards to eating monsters? Oh, a child! Oh.
What just happened?
Yo,
Okay.
the elder though.
So sapience. So if sapience alone is enough, clearly, I assume that anything that can like coherently speak and understand language is definitely like disqualified too. Then for you,
obviously,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Okay.
god. Yeah.
Okay, so nothing that can speak like and understand language.
I'm not a murderer.
Okay.
You trying to figure something out?
I'm trying to trap you basically.
I mean,
Put you
good
in the
luck
corner,
with
we'll
that.
say yes.
Okay.
Because that was that's kind of another facet where in similar conversations people have asked like, would you eat a dog or a cat or whatever, and I was like, I guess if I'm like starving and have no other options, sure, but would I ever choose to? Definitely not. And it's like, why? And it's like, well, because I associate those with pets, you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, well, what if you had a fucking walking mushroom as a pet? And it's like, well, I guess. I don't know. People can have cows as pets, though. That's not really like a limiting factor, I guess, to whether or not something's food.
Okay. Here is my question, right?
Okay.
Would you eat a creature that is not sentient, or I should say, is not necessarily like able to understand and form thoughts, that is a predator, that how do I phrase this? Basically, would you eat a creature whose natural form is like a shellfish, basically, but could shapeshift into humans and did so regularly?
So a mimic.
Kind of, yeah.
Would I eat that?
No, it's fine.
Well, I mean, in Zach's case, if you just killed it in its original form, then does it matter to you, Zach? Because it doesn't look like a human at that point.
Well, because that's the thing, right? So if it shapeshifts into the human form, as long as it doesn't have, like, obviously, if I killed it while it was in human form, I would be very perturbed, let's say, about the scenario. But if it is able to recognize that fact, that would make me perturbed, then that's sapience, right?
It doesn't recognize that fact. It just does that to try to trick you.
Okay. All right. So
I think it comes back down to when you kill it in its form.
yeah, and I'm going to presume that when I kill it, it stays in whatever form that it was.
Yeah.
Like if the mimic turns into a person, and then I kill the mimic, and then I slice into its thigh, is it crab meat or is it like human meat?
It's crab meat.
Oh, then yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So if it has the shape of a human, but the meat inside is not human, that helps.
Well, That's like a more for
because
me.
that's not like, it's humanoid, but it's not human, and like there's something about it where it's just like the fact that the humanoid form is non-permanent in my mind is like, that's humanoid-ish, I guess.
Okay. So a non-permanent humanoid form. Okay. We're testing the boundaries here.
Jesus Christ. Yo, this is getting to
another
like
one?
You
that
stubborn
soy people.
mule!
getting to that soy people from Adventure Time.
True.
Mario. Here we go, punies.
Yeah, you have the people.
Can I ask you something? We're looking for a crystal star.
We're looking for a crystal star.
Get real big again and yell. It's fun. I know Adrian's like playing a video game or whatever, but in my mind I like the idea of him like sifting through like a monsters wiki, being like trying to find like a different ask 20 questions thing to figure out where the limits of, I guess, what I would eat, since no one's really answering other than me.
But what if slime?
This is the most interesting, though, Zach.
I can't imagine that slime would be appetizing.
It'd be like flan or jelly.
Like
I feel like it would depend on the species of slime, though, wouldn't it?
If slimes tasted like Jello, maybe. But like, 'cause it depends. It depends on what school of thought you subscribe to for like how slimes function. Because I personally like the slimes where the idea is that they have like a pearl core. It's like a little marble, and then that's like their entire consciousness, and it just subsumes the slime that they live in or whatever. So like
Jawbreaker.
Well, and so that would be my thing, where it'd be like, to quote unquote kill that slime, you would incapacitate it and then just remove the pearl and just put the pearl into something else and then just eat the slime. You know what I mean?
I have a question. This should be less about morality, but more about just boundaries.
Only slightly, though.
If you knew that it would not sicken you in any way, would you eat a slime that was found and killed in a sewer?
So I wouldn't become, but it would still. So you say it wouldn't sicken me. So you obviously have thought ahead about the idea of like, what if I became ill, right?
It would not make you ill, but
I'm assuming it's still going to taste like piss and shit.
You won't know until you find out until you taste it, would you?
Now the question is, am I going to die otherwise?
No, it's not going to kill you.
I would
or harm
not
you.
eat that.
Wait. Wait, if it didn't kill you or harm you, then you wouldn't still eat it?
No, I'm saying like if I wasn't going to starve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like if we were in this dungeon and I was not at risk of starving, I would not eat the slime.
Okay, I see.
I would collect its pearl and make a necklace.
The sewer pearl?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's shiny, you know?
Okay, I have another question. This one's back to morals again. Same scenario, but it was found and killed in a graveyard.
Similar scenario.
You would not eat it.
Unless I had a guarantee that the slime tasted good, I would not choose to eat it outside of starvation.
Does that qualify for all slimes or only these specific slimes in their scenarios?
Like I said, oh Jesus. I just whacked my mic.
Take out the stone from the upper level.
He's touched his mic and now it's broken. He has to fix it.
I fucked up my mic.
But what if?
There we go. All right, I'm back. Oh, is this? Can I open this? Hey, look at that. Is it these specific slimes? No, it's essentially any slime in which I could not be guaranteed of its palatability.
Okay.
Yep. But what if you eat the slime from Slime Rancher?
God, those look so good. I mean, the rat slime would kill you.
Yeah,
the honey slime obviously tastes delicious. Like that one's obvious.
Oh my
God. Cat slime probably tastes like fish. Or I guess
I
chicken.
have a question.
Yeah, I guess chicken.
Zach.
Chicken.
I have a question, Zach. Let's go back. Let's revisit my scenarios, right?
Why is it just
not
me?
eating the slime will not kill you. You're not starving, but it will grant you like more strength.
Okay.
And you're like an adventurer in the scenario.
More strength as in like it's a permanent upgrade, or it's like a temporary like buff?
It's like a temporary buff.
No.
I would prefer.
Like let's say you're about to
not to, but if I knew I was about to go up against like a boss or a particularly tough enemy, then yes, I would.
Okay, so you would if like it was pressing and it would help you.
Oh yeah, you need flurry for this section.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
because you
guess
have
we're
to blow.
never gonna do it then.
You have to blow the punies into the bubble bath.
Oh, wait, here or up there?
No, up there.
Got it. I do like how it is like soapy water. That is pretty cool. Is there a quick way to switch between people, or do I have to go to the menu?
You have to go on the menu.
All right. Any other nonsense, Adrian?
Would you?
And then you blow them again.
Okay. Would you eat a monster if it was non-sapient and non-sentient, but you knew that it was serving in just its natural action decision making, just by default, if it was tied to / served like a divinity, like a deity in this like fantasy world?
In this fantasy world, does that divinity have the capacity to like have retribution against me?
Not like directly or obviously, like unless
Is it
like.
So are you telling me that I don't know that these divinities exist, or that I won't be able to quite tell whether or not I'm being affected?
Yeah, you know they exist,
That's what
but you
I
don't know you don't know the degree to which this divinity will take offense to this action. They're capricious beings.
Then no. Once again, if I'm not starving, then no. I would not risk. Well, if the monster was like notoriously delicious, maybe.
Not even if it gave you powers?
Oh, if it gave, well, I mean, what do you mean by powers? You're not defining these things.
Let's say it's another temporary, like, it gives you like a temporary ability to like fly or something.
Okay. And then that's pretty fucking useful. Like genuinely. I would look into the divinity's horrible demonic eyes, and I would say, why did you make your patron animal so delicious and useful? I also just realized that these things are named piters.
Yeah, they're not quite spiders yet.
That's so good.
They're only 3.14159% spider.
Spider?
It's a strange number to pull out of there.
Very, yeah.
You lost one.
What the
Where
fuck?
You have to go find them now.
But I already have 10 people.
Zach, where did he go, Zach?
Probably fell off the side there. They are scared of
No!
spiders.
Zach!
Oh, that's
Can I do
is
anything
that a
with
shine
this?
sprite behind there, actually? Or a block or
Where is
something.
he?
You should probably just blow this thing away with flurry.
Does that work?
Yes,
God, she blows so hard.
she is very necessary for this chapter.
There it goes.
Bye-bye!
Now, can I go down?
I mean, yeah.
Yikes.
Very cool.
At least you didn't land on the guy.
Zach
Thank you,
went
video
right
game.
into
Very
that
cool.
one. The video game appreciates you too, Zach. Thank you for playing.
Paper Mario.
I didn't get any of the style.
Origami King. Who knew going to a water temple would ruin our lives?
Huh?
Let's talk about Origami King.
Oh. That's the game.
Yeah. We cannot play, unfortunately, because it wigs out on us.
You have to be dead. Thank God.
There's the one.
Found him.
Yo, it's freaking Punio.
The one.
It was Punio.
He is the one.
He's the
The
chosen
one to save us all.
Yo, he's juking you.
God.
He did those mind games on you.
Oh, I wish I had enough to do the whole thing. I don't know. Does Quake Hammer work here? Maybe.
Quick hammer. We'll hit 2 of them.
How do I get more than a nice?
You press it like a second after he hits the ground.
Oh, duh. Mario, are you gonna die?
Are you?
Maybe.
Am I?
Good face, Flurry. Such a good face.
Welcome to the flurry. What a lovely face.
Body slam. Get in there. Da-da-da. It'd be really cool to get something with
Intense
health.
fight.
Those are really hard.
Ouch!
I don't want to use health power-ups.
Don't want to squander them on such a pitiful, worthless foe.
Correct. Are we done with that
Oh
topic
my
then?
goodness.
Oh, he's dizzy.
What?
I don't really understand what just happened, but okay.
Poor guy. He's trying his best.
I do like how Madame Flurry's power is just to be heavy.
Despite being literally made of air.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
he's a very heavy
Quite
windbag. She is.
interesting.
He's very condensed.
So she's not an old bag. That's not the character.
That's a different character.
It's a different character.
I'm not fucking wasting that now. Are you kidding? I'd rather die.
You might just.
Am I gonna?
Not gonna regroup with the other punies?
I was
Okay.
trying. I'm trying to get back up there. I don't know how.
It was on the left side.
How was I supposed to know that? Oh my god! What the fuck is that thing?
It's a Jabba. Jawa.
Jabby.
Jabby.
Jabby!
You're
Close.
close.
Jesse,
There's
close,
only
close.
so many
Punies and
vowels.
jabbies. I don't like that.
Why not? What's wrong with Jabby?
Anyway,
What's wrong with
Adrian.
Jabby the Hutt?
Adrian.
Yes. What?
Demand another topic.
Okay.
Continue speaking, Adrian. Because I cannot.
Dance for me,
Please.
Jester.
Basically.
Okay. Here's another question, right? Flip the divinity thing. Would you eat demon flesh?
I was hoping for a new topic, but okay.
Would you eat demon flesh if a priest said, "If you do this, you'll have the support of us for eating this thing"?
What's the?
But,
there
you know,
there
this usually, I
simply
feel like
must
eating
be.
demonic flesh has to be
down the
bad
pipe.
in some kind of way.
There simply must be negative repercussions to eating demonic flesh.
now cursed.
It tastes
Question
bad.
about
Tastes like burnt.
So taste is the only problem we have
Yeah,
here,
but
not that it's a
It's
demonic
literally just
entity.
that it tastes bad.
So are you going with
it
the?
tastes burnt and also like
Are you
It's like
going with the devil
overcooked
fruit
ribs
power?
that really stick to like the bone, and they're like very hard to like bite into.
Are you
Yeah.
taking the devil fruit out route? You lost
Bro, exactly. Like
all your punies.
80% of them just fled. They fell
fuck
off.
am
They
I
were
supposed to-
spooked.
How the fuck am I supposed to like hurt this thing?
You either do that or you use coops.
But Coops can't
Nice.
hit
Zach,
most
that's
of
just
them.
going in for it.
Yeah, but he was loved.
I love Meow Meow.
All right. get in there.
Come on, Zach, you got it. Don't mess up, Zach. Come on, Zach. Come on.
Careful, Zach, careful.
I need to see you go all the way, Zach. Come on, come on, come on.
Fuck.
Oh my
okay.
goodness.
He has yet to perfect it.
Eh,
He will get there someday.
you're shitting me. They all have 5 HP.
They're tough. They're some tough motherfuckers.
God fucking damn it.
Okay, he's doing it. He's gonna blow on them.
He's beginning to believe. Come on, Zach.
Okay, so that one's like a bellows sort of. Got it.
He blew on them. I forgot that her small defense animation she squishes down.
It's a really good defense animation.
I'm assuming you should kill the other guy just in case, Zach, as well.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh!
But what if?
Here's a new
But what if,
concept.
Zach?
Threatening Saba's life.
That's not
That's
new, Zach.
actually pretty old. That's pretty old. You need to modernize with the times, Zach. You need to update.
You need to actually act upon your threats.
Oh, you can
I
blow on
didn't
that
say
wall.
that.
You can blow on the walls,
Yeah,
Zach.
no balls.
This
Blow
wall?
on the wall. Yeah.
Oh, that's what those little papery things mean. So okay, so there's a lot of things I could have done. All right. I'll keep that in mind for the future. Oh.
You have 9 out of 11 people.
It's a
I
shot.
know I have like 80 something, but I'm just gonna do that. Look at this guy wearing the hat. What
What
you?
could they be
What you
looking
got?
for?
Howdy do? What are you trying to sell, bud?
Oh, you found the secret
Yeah.
shop. Nice.
Dude, it can sell Ultra Shroom for 75.
Quite secret-ish.
Holy crap.
Yo, the Yakult power punch though.
Oh,
That is just a cult drink.
a mystery. I could buy a
Is this where you can get the secret? I don't remember. There is a secret that you can do somewhere.
Yesterday is a history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is the present.
That's why they call it.
It's probably a different room.
Man, Kung Fu Panda, it's been a long time.
What about Kung Fu Panda? What about Jack Black?
What about a
They're making the new
noodles,
one, aren't they?
secret noodle recipe?
They are?
I thought so. I thought that was announced somewhere.
Wrong.
Okay.
I have no evidence to support either way, but I think you're wrong.
As usual.
Correct, you're wrong as usual. If there's one thing I know about Adrian, it's that he's typically wrong.
Wow, are you gonna stand for this, Adrian?
I'm gonna sit down for this.
Exactly. He's bested you, Zach.
He's buckling up, Zach.
He's gonna.
You better buckle up, kiddo.
What a weird threat. You better buckle up, kiddo, because I'm about to put you in an automobile incident. And your chances are probably better if you buckle up.
I'm gonna put you in an automobile collision because accident implies that it's nobody's fault.
Because accidents happen. Oh dear.
Wish.
Which was a scary thing to think.
On the count of three,
Yo, Zach,
everybody
you have a
kill
banter
Saba.
idea
I did?
about finding two contradictory statements or you hating Greatest Attorney 2's writing.
So I will say that I appreciate that you remember that I literally talked about this on Wednesday, but I'll talk about it again.
I wasn't here, so it didn't count.
Not for me. Yeah, this is for them. Zach.
Uh-huh. Good recovery. So the I won't go through the majority of it because it's really unnecessary, but there are I've been going through Greatest Attorney 2 and there's a lot of stuff that's been happening, and apparently this is like something that's really common in Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6. But there's a thing that's been happening like pretty frequently, which is like You know that thing in Greatest Attorney where you do like the summation examination where all of the jurors like state why they think the defendant is guilty, and you have to like pit them against each other to have them like reverse their decision. I can't remember the exact specifics of the scenario, but in this particular instance, juror number 1 was saying, this guy, the guy on the bench right now, I have no reason not to trust him. Ergo, your defendant must be guilty, right? And that was his logic, which is obviously batshit insane, but whatever. And then juror number 4 said something along the lines of like, I don't have any proof, but I know this guy's a thief. And I'm like, oh, really? Let me press you on that. So we do the whole thing, and it's revealed that the guy on the bench is suspected of stealing gas from the gas company. And so her thing updates to say, we believe that he is a thief, and I don't trust him for a second. So my mind goes, oh, that's a really good cross-examination right there. I'm going to pit juror number 4 against juror number 1, and we'll see how it goes. So I pit them, and the game goes, no, that's wrong. Takes a point of my health away. And I'm like, what the fuck? And after, like, I don't know, like another like 2 or 3 minutes of trying to figure it out, it was revealed that I was supposed to press juror number 1, in which case we further examine his statement, and he updates his statement to say, if I were to have reason not to trust this guy, I would now reverse my statement to be innocent instead of guilty. Factually, no difference has occurred. He is literally just stating the exact same thing, but in the reverse direction this time. So now I pit those two statements against each other, and the game goes, yeah, you did it. And I was just frustrated, and that's really it. Like, because that's like one example of many that have occurred over the course of like my playthrough so far, where like the game is trying to get me to pick something very specific, and I don't see why it has to be so specific when the solution is already like right there in front of us at that point. So that's largely it. That was mostly just sharing a circumstance that I encountered while playing Greatest Attorney 2.
Wow. It does seem like they frequently tunnel vision on how they need the narrative of what questions are asked and what answers are produced, rather than what effectively would happen in that series a lot, which is quite unfortunate.
Holy shit, 4 damage
well,
per
sometimes,
jump?
I don't know. Sometimes it could be something along the lines of like
so close.
because they're like, oh, we made this for kids, right? So it's like, unless there's like some obvious thing that they've already said, like, oh, like, I don't know, Susato or someone's like, if only we could like, you know, get them to potentially reverse their idea of trusting him. And so they're like, oh, okay, so only that specific line needs to be heard again, and then kids will understand. That's how they'll make the connection. And it's just like, no. Like, it's kind of obvious.
I'm gonna be real here. That game has way too much text to appeal to kids who can't parse stuff out. Like,
Oh,
that
God.
much focus.
Man, I don't know then.
It's the exact same thing as I mentioned a while ago on my topic of like tutorials, where like,
Can I not get this box yet?
No.
not yet.
Okay.
Actually, I think you can if you use coops. There's probably a hidden block under it.
Oh, okay.
True. That is something.
I'll try that real quick.
Ooh. Truing.
Fuck. All
Bada
right.
bing,
Well,
bada boom.
there you go.
Imagine you just lose the badge.
That increases your guard potency with your allies. I don't know if that's worth it for you or not.
It's not, but it's cool.
I was gonna say, do you think it'd be worth it if you got the Mario version of that?
Yes.
Okay. But then you'd be less incentivized to.
When we eventually get around to Chrono Trigger, there's this really weird thing in that game where you get these things called tabs, which are literally each tab is equivalent to 1 point in its corresponding stat, right? And so the game presents these in a way where logically you would use these tabs in order to make up for characters' downsides, right? So for example, Robo is a character in that game. He's extremely powerful, but very slow. So obviously, you fucking cram him full of speed tabs, and now he's just normal, but very strong. And it's like, okay, that makes sense. But then there is an equally valid argument that says that no, you should give literally all of your tabs to Chrono, the main character, because he's the only character who, if he dies, you lose the game. And it's a really weird way in that scenario where it's like, now in this circumstance, I don't give a shit about my allies because they're useful, but I don't game over if they die. You know?
I will say that that badge does decentivize trying to go for like counterattacks and only like basic guards.
Oh, that's fair.
Now you're 11. Can you take
war.
this
You can't
many
do
of them
that.
with your force of 11?
Retreat,
do you
Zach,
think?
retreat!
What do you think? Are you feeling? Are you feeling
Retreat.
ballsy, Zach?
I can do
Wow,
it.
they're still coming.
I'm going to assume this is like 100.
Retreat!
I'm out of here.
Retreat!
I'm fucking out of there, dude. I don't want 11 of my guys to just die.
Fair.
It is war, Zach.
War's hell, man.
War never
War.
changes.
Except it changes all the time.
True. Except with the invention of like things like the machine gun and whatnot.
Did you see that like literally 95% of casualties in the war in the invasion of Ukraine? What the fuck? Wait, is it less people? Ah, okay. Can I? It's a Chen
Yeah, you
Jabi
can
squad.
fight
Let's
him.
get him!
You can actually stun them with flurry.
Did this work? Did that?
Smack him!
Oh my god! Go get him!
Oh, they're getting.
We did it! Yay!
Yeah.
Out to raid.
Flurry's
Did
the
I
only companion that can
actually
you stun
help?
them.
By the way.
Yeah.
Not really. I think your hammer just displaces them and moves them around.
Oh,
But
okay.
now they're raiding.
Oh my god.
Wow, this is fun. This is great.
Wow, that was their house, and I guess
It's like
it's like- it's like-
walking
it's like
somewhere,
Pikmin.
right? So
I actually think
You
this is
know.
the weakest chapter, personally.
I'm having a great time so far.
I'm glad you
it's
are.
probably because the music in the background's pretty fun.
Genuinely, it's helping a lot.
The background is a little trippy, I will
What
say.
the hell were we
the
just
music.
talking about?
I don't know.
That's a really good question. It was something we were vaguely disagreeing about, I think.
I genuinely
I love how
don't
we
remember.
all collectively have forgotten.
We got distracted
Jester
by
alive.
the- by the
Puny
jabby
star,
attack.
Do you
moon,
remember?
sun. Puny star,
we,
moon,
we were talking
sun.
about war. And then
Before that.
True.
Oh, you're talking about how
things
Ukraine
change.
civilian something.
Oh, I was just saying that like 95% of casualties so far in the invasion of Ukraine have been due to drone strikes, which I think
Right.
is a very shocking statistic.
Given how inaccurate those are at picking out actual people, yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of guys.
I request
Let's go.
one last banter topic, Jester.
Okay.
We have
Banter
30
topic
minutes.
Jester. Oh my god.
Alright, so
He does have like
I-
18 billion banter topics. Oh,
I have always been fascinated with the concept of. Because, like, theoretically, right, in a very simple sense, good usually aligns with good against evil. However, evil is inherently selfish and therefore will not always align with other evil.
right.
So, like, if you're a protagonist, there's like the giant evil tyrant in the other kingdom that's ruling over large people, right? And that's bad. That's evil. But also, there's this just bridge troll in your kingdom that's evil, that's not tied to him, that would just as willingly smush a diplomat from that kingdom as well. So I've been fascinated with the idea of a game where you have to maneuver politically and not heroically, but just maneuver like the evil countries against each other and have them fight. And I think that'd
And
be
like
interesting.
weaken them to the point where like your kingdom could actually survive an encounter.
Exactly, like exploit their selfishness and inherent
Why did
self-interest.
that one guy not work?
He was misaligned.
I don't know.
Or
Man,
it's
I'm
like,
about to kill him,
as
though.
soon as you said that, Adrian, I was also like, oh, but then it's like you're putting the good guy in a position where he has to be, air quotes, like
Manipulative.
selfish. He has to choose. Yeah, he has to choose one or the other. They can't choose
Hello?
both.
But they're still attracted to that pearl you left on the other side.
The orb.
Orb.
So-called
Ew.
freethinker punies when puny orb.
Orb.
Yeah.
My life for orb.
Orb.
I simply enjoy the concept of evil versus evil, like the idea of like they not necessarily like evil, but I guess just antagonistic forces. But like in Puss in Boots 2, they have several moments where like the
These are
protagonists
all
are there.
wanted outlaws.
Well, yeah, the protagonists show up, and then like different groups that both hate the protagonists but also don't like each other show up, and then they all brawl. And I think that's interesting.
Time to amass. Where did one of them go? Oh, is it Punio?
It must be Punio.
Oh no, Zach.
Where the fuck? Oh, it's
Zach,
definitely
where is-
Punio. Okay. Hi guys. Brother, you came. This is the wrong type of media for that.
Oh my
Hey,
god,
get your mind out of there.
How
Zach.
can I? Flurry's here.
No, Zach.
Now you are a Pikmin.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh shit, sorry.
Fuck. Are you okay? Did you just fall down a cliff?
He
I
fell.
touched my mic.
Oh.
No, the
I
card.
was trying to shift it, and then I scratched it with my fingernails.
It was icky. It was not at all.
It's great. Cheerio.
Cheerio. Did you say Cheerio? Cheerio.
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 Oh, how touching. I like how because of like the forced HD like upresing of this a little bit,
Wow.
they all have like Kermit the Frog eyes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes. All right, let's
Now
go back
here.
to that. Let's go back to that Jabby place.
Now you have
Unity
Pikmin
frog
moment.
here.
I think a secret happens if you go back into the shop.
With all of them?
Yeah,
All of the like.
I
this is
think
too
we're
many
heading that
customers.
way anyway, right?
you lost like 30
Why do you
or
have
what did
What
that-
the
76?
fuck? How?
What happened? You had them, and then
probably
you
got
went
stuck.
down.
They got stuck. Because they're dumb.
Man, this is too many people to pay attention to.
Okay, they all made it this time. All right.
Because I definitely remember something happening in like somewhere. Like you do get a secret.
Oh, we're gonna have to do bubbles with all 101 of them.
I was gonna say this is the most. This is why this part is probably the weakest in my head.
There's so many.
They're
All
a
right,
bit
guys.
inconsistent.
Group up. Oh god, there's so many.
They'll all be in like one collective bubble. What? That didn't take that much time at all. Zach's too far away. Oh, this was a mistake, huh?
Oh yeah, it is in the shop. You have to go back in the shop.
There's one guy.
Can you get
see
it right now? I
that.
thought you had to come back later for it.
No, he can get it right now.
Okay.
Because he can actually do it before the giant war.
The
The
giant war.
The giant war in the tree.
I like how the deciding factor is one extra person.
Yeah, like the fact that Mario's here doesn't apparently matter. Yes.
It's
Well, I
their
mean,
fight.
well, because that's
It's
the
their
thing.
fight,
Like,
not yours.
I would love to actually do the fight against like 90 Jabbies all at once. I think that'd be great. It's like the
Zach's got his own
Sammer.
battle to
It's like
fight.
the Sammer guy challenge that we never did.
I mean, this has just been a series of going down, going
I
down.
mean, if you're looking
going
for
down.
a fight made of crowds of enemies, boy, do I have a game for you that you're already playing.
Wonderful 101.
Hickman.
Correct.
Well, we've already done that, Zach.
Oh,
Bigman.
that was a great game, which got no viewers, and I was very sad.
I was about to say, we're playing a game that isn't Overwatch.
So he is in the corner.
Diablo. Zach, say the first line. Just say the top line.
Oh, don't do that.
No. I wanted him to say it out loud. I was just gonna imagine Zach being like, "No, let's get him."
No, let's get him. Beat him up. And forget my very first line. What the fuck?
Yes, you
Now
have
you have
one.
102.
Imagine,
Are you
Zach,
kidding me? Any
you took
hard?
this kid and you're gonna make him fight against his own kind.
But look, it's not 102, so he doesn't count as one of them.
I thought he counted.
I'm pretty sure he counts. He's in the group, though.
Zach is doing the forbidden spiral.
He
All
is
of them are
in the
gonna
group.
die now.
He's at the very end. I can see him.
Yeah.
You're fucking boiling flurry.
Alright, time for war.
They're very distractible.
Okay. And then we can be done after war.
How did they get here?
They're very fast.
You motherfuckers best not fall off.
It's the fact that they cover the whole, like, platform. It's just a giant, like...
Well, there is 100 of them, Jesse, you know?
102. All right.
A mini army.
All
time
right,
for
Jabbies.
war.
It's so many.
Oh my god, their eyes.
Yeah, it's like that one boss in Pikmin 3. Where you used to win
Oh, where it's
Pikmin.
all the bees.
Yeah.
Item! Oh my god, look at all those that got knocked back.
Am I blowing my own guys too? I can't tell.
Yes.
Oh.
It is war. The horrors of war,
Oh my
Zach.
god, some of your guys are down, Zach.
The horrors of war.
Genuine. Did we win? Yeah!
Yeah, you
We
did it.
survived with 38 people!
Now, if you were an actual general and those were actual injured, that'd be horrible losses.
Yeah, but they're not dead. They got right back up.
True.
Alright,
Thank God
now
that
we
alarm
feast
stopped.
on their flesh.
I think they do despawn if you leave this room. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Opening Pikmin 3.
They're quite embarrassed. They all rush off stage.
When you bring all the... When you bring all
if
the,
you-
like, the bees back.
If you blow an enemy with flurry on the overworld, they'll get stunned, which lets you line up attack user on them.
Or I could
Oh,
just
yeah.
attack them.
The
like a
Peonies show
boss.
up in the audience now.
Where's Zach?
Oh
Could
yeah,
just
look at all
be
the
aggressive.
peonies!
No, this does imply that they could die at some point in the audience.
No, that was a one-time thing, probably. Probably.
Fuck!
Wow, 2 FP back. That's pretty good.
Pretty lucky.
Oh! Pog
Yo,
him!
gamer?
And it was pointless because you were full up on star points.
I know, but it looked cool.
It looked cool. Also, you're only 2 XP from leveling up, so go wild in your next fight because you're going to get it back anyway.
True. He's right. Can I? Hello?
The orb.
Orb. All right, stay there.
There is. Okay. I said that like I was in there, like, yeah, Zach, alright, I'll stay there.
Oh.
It's a good thing you have Coops out.
Do you get star power back for leveling up?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sick. Let's go.
And if you fuck this up, you can have Coops power shell him.
It's true.
But there's no way Zach fucks this up. He obviously maxes this one out.
True. Because Zach is
Obviously,
a true gamer.
right?
They get so tight at the end.
No.
God, I love that so much.
That
Really solid.
Leveling up.
all right.
That was 2
more,
XP each.
more BP. I feel like you should upgrade FP at some point, but
Well, he's regenning FP is the thing.
As long as I have BP, I have all these extra benefits.
that is true.
Yeah.
I genuinely have a badge on me right now that I can equip to make my FP bigger.
It's a kind of expensive badge, but yeah.
But,
Kind of
look
useless
at
at this point, but
You should sort your badges once in a while.
how do you do that?
nah, it's okay.
Z, whatever
He doesn't
that
need to do
is.
that.
You should. It's just for neatness sake.
I don't know what the C button is.
It's the Z button.
Oh,
You know, the Z button.
there you go. Yeah. Expensive shit at the bottom.
Fair enough.
Maybe I need some people.
Need some people.
Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Go to the next room over.
What am I supposed to do in this?
There was there not a door there?
In the next room?
I thought there was, unless I was
Adrian!
mistaken.
If you're talking about this
Beast.
door on the right, I just came from there.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Jack, have you tried turning around?
You do need people for
I
that.
heard that works sometimes.
That is some Saba. Oh!
I told you.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
You did not say that.
See, sometimes
You can't just
Sabaladi-
say anything and then claim. And then claim.
You have to turn around, Zach. It's true.
I wish
You just didn't listen to me, Zach.
I wish we lived in like a free guy GTA 5 universe so I could just shoot you in the head and then you would just wake up at the hospital.
Well, what if?
Oh, don't do that, Jesse. Don't do that.
I thought you said don't do that,
the-
Zach. Don't shoot me. It was clearly a fake.
Oh yeah, it was drawn in like crayon.
Yeah.
It's Crump.
He'll be dead, so you're gonna sit there and take that?
I mean, I can just go through the bar.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't know chat.
Mario, what are we gonna do?
Mario!
You just leave him.
Mario. Mario? Goops, how did you do that?
Look, man, Coops is slick.
Oh, I know this one. It's Puny Star Moon Sun.
Very
Hearts,
cool.
stars, and
Zach.
horseshoes, clovers, red balloons.
Can I change this? Is this a blowing on them thing? Yours not. Okay, well.
Watch, it was just something like arbitrary. Like, no, Zach, you had to blow it from the right side, not the left. That wouldn't happen, though. They wouldn't do that. Of course not.
You don't
See,
know
yeah,
that.
it doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, what did that button even do?
I think. Try going back up.
My assumption would be that I need to change these. How do I do that?
Wait. Try blowing on the left wall.
But there's not a paper thing. I do like this tree full of water.
Pretty slick.
I wish it was
thick,
sap.
if you will. Pretty thick.
Got another star piece. You can't just keep hiding star pieces behind pipes.
Why? It's easy.
I am perplexed at how I'm supposed to actually...
I think you might have to go back to that other room.
Perplexed was.
You're shitting me. That was so far away.
The adjective they gave him in middle school.
Sun, moon, puny stars. All right, well, making our way downtown.
They're in the jail.
I like the term perplexed. I like the term befuddled.
If you
Enjoy
had
both of these
to
terms.
name your favorite polygon, what would it be?
Triangle.
Oh my god. Oh,
The traffic
sec-
point.
oh my god! For a second, I thought you were like, you were asking us to like rename what our favorite like shapes are into something we like, and I'm like, I don't even know.
No, but octagon though.
I like a
Octagon's pretty
septagon.
good. You would like a septagon.
I would. It's true. I cannot deny it.
Does a star count as a shape?
That is a
stop
polygon,
sign
yes.
is an octagon.
Oh, I like that.
You have to stop!
But Zach, as long as it adds up to 360 degrees, it doesn't matter how far we go.
Oh!
Technically, a star is just a concave decagon.
I guess that's true. It does have 10 sides.
These fucking goofy ass sound effects.
What's wrong with them?
More. He needs more. Happening, Zach.
Oh,
It's happening.
it's a door.
Oh.
I just straight
Zelda
up.
moment.
I have never noticed until now that Madame Fleury has a nostril.
Yeah, she has a nose.
I did
And a
not.
mouth.
I registered that she
Zach
had
forgets
like
that
a
she can breathe.
nose-ish like thing, but I didn't realize that she had that. Is this
Look,
another
it's the-
curse? Oh,
No, it's the
Super
super boots.
Now you can do bigger damage.
nice.
And you can
Oh, hey,
ground pound.
Toadette.
Look, it's Toadette.
I look
Before
forward to the
crown
future where you
incident
turn
of-
into Peach.
This is Toadette before the crown incident.
Hey, I would like to reiterate how hard I laughed when the game fully released. They had that special line in the handbook that was like, and the Super Crown only works for Toadette. It doesn't work for anyone else.
Pretty good.
To reiterate, it does not work.
Oh,
For all you horny bastards out there.
Okay, Adrian specified, I guess.
But Bowsette was really good though.
Bro. Now you can
Mario
do things, Zach.
Smash.
I can do a butt slam. I can do a butt slam onto an enemy and kill
Yeah.
them instantly.
Well, you
not
can use it in
instantly.
combat, and it does do more damage. Let's take FP too.
How do I get out?
But if you do it on the overworld, it does it.
True. If you can butt slam an enemy in the overworld, then you deserve the extra damage. Platforming in a Mario game? Why I never.
Why
They're like-
I never? Oh my god!
They're like, let's take this concept and make it into the actual game next time. And then they did.
True.
Oh, what's this thing?
What's this? What's this? You can get that.
With Coops.
Yes.
Yeah.
If Grant survives his current ordeal, fuck. I think a fun like April Fool's stream would be to play Omicron the Nomad Soul.
mean, I'm not familiar, but okay.
Never heard of it in my life.
You'll get it next time, Zach.
I won't.
Okay.
Charge.
Cool. I don't know what that does.
It'll give you extra power on the next turn.
Yeah, but does that take a turn to do?
It'll
That's
take a turn to do.
I was gonna say, what's her face literally did that. Marilyn literally did that in your fight with her.
Yeah, and then she died.
True.
So it must
I
be
mean,
bad.
That's an interpretation of that.
It's
Wait,
the only
Zach,
interpretation of that.
Could
Yes.
we? I mean, you look at that number, right? That number, the below the dash.
Huh?
What the fuck?
No, look. It's 0 out of how many, Zach?
101.
I'm gonna feed into this in a second. Below the dash? Not to the right of the dash or next to the below it.
Yeah, normally we would see it like, one on top, one below. Okay, what does it matter, Zach?
It does.
Jesse said
You're
the
a
thing
writer.
already. You took too
Words
long.
matter.
You took too long.
Words
took too long.
exist. They're real.
And how
I'm
did
real.
Jesse get it then, Zach?
You're real.
I got it.
I'm not
I
real.
also got it. I just was flabbergasted at your insistence of saying below.
Leave me alone, Zach. I don't know why you're trying to bully me like this. Clearly.
I'm going to kill you and then kill you again.
Oh, I think you're supposed to go back to get the punies.
What if I just killed these guys?
That could work.
Oh, you fucking
Zach ruined it. Zach ruined it, but I wanted to make a wonderful 101 joke right there. So it's gone now.
I already did.
He's killed it.
I'm glad
He
you've
killed it
been
for me.
present.
See, now you do
I
more
need
damage,
him to say it
normally.
again. You just said, Zach, you just said that Wonderful 101 was a good game. That's what I remember you saying.
I don't
Cool.
think Zach's
And
ever
what was
said
your
that. I
joke
think-
gonna be? Just that there's a 101 on the screen?
I don't. I
Yeah,
don't
okay,
think
mine
Zach's-
may be basic, but I'm pure in intention, Zach, okay?
I don't think Zach's
I'm going
ever
to
said
kill you.
Wonderful 101's a good game, actually.
Excuse me. Now you're putting words in my mouth, Adrian.
I think Zach actually hates Wonderful 101 from what I recall.
Damn it. Appeal again. Why do I have 50 people in the audience?
Packed
Why
crowd
not?
night.
I'm realizing I probably should have swapped partners a while ago.
Well, we'll
Probably.
be done in a few minutes. It's gonna be
True.
great.
No stylish, no bitches. Can't have anything in this god fuck of a world.
It's God fuck.
Oh no.
Stop, please! You can't keep doing this.
You can't keep getting away with this.
Think of your parents.
Think of your parents. They must miss you terribly.
Stop.
Hey, Zach.
Yes.
What if I tell you that later in the game, they'll spawn like 3 of them?
I'm assuming I'll have more tools to deal with it by then.
You will, but I'm just saying.
And I'll have as far as I remember from my childhood, I'll have the best partner by that time. Hilariously, no one knows which one because they're all pretty okay.
That would hazard even good.
Oh god, my tuchus.
Your tuchus? Would you hurt your ass earlier?
Sorry?
Did you hurt your ass earlier?
No, I've just
Your
been sitting
tuchus?
down for like hours.
Oh.
Ta-da! Alright, nerdlings, come on. Or not. Okay, cool.
You're stuck on the orb, Zach. You didn't take out the orb.
Ah! You
God, I
fucking
love the orb.
fucking orb. I'm sick of this shit already.
So-called free thinkers with an orb.
You didn't blow them down the hole.
Your shit, they don't come down? Come on!
It's just hard, Zach.
So I have to orb them, then blow them, then orb, and then we can go.
It'd be like that, unfortunately.
Fucking God.
Like I said, some would say this is the weakest chapter of the game, and that's me. I'm some.
What about these two guys that are clearly just stuck on geometry? What about them?
No, there's a guy behind the thing too. You see him?
Take out the
right
orb,
behind.
put the orb back.
There's a guy right behind there. I see him. Oh, that's better. That's better. Smart thinking, Jesse. Good job. Good job.
Oh my god.
Keep getting away with this. I'm gonna kill you.
It's two dudes.
Got it.
Good job.
Oh my god.
You did it.
Now you got your children back.
I'm gonna eat these children.
Zach is like, this is what it's like to be a parent.
I'm gonna eat them.
Oh my god.
You're gonna take off the little like dandelion on top,
No.
and then you. Exactly. I
I
have to put them down another hole.
Zach, be careful. They can fall. 51 of
Where you
them.
go?
There's a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
you're
them
going to
gone,
save.
Zach.
You went too fast. They got stuck.
You can't possibly be here.
Zach, they're a little slow, okay? You gotta be gentle with them.
Where the fuck am I even going?
I have to go save. Look, it's Jabble. It's the boy.
I saw him. He was there.
Oh
I'm
man.
just looking for a save block.
Gotta go back.
We're ending this stream with hysteria, I think.
I don't even know where I'm going, dude. Like, aren't I done?
No.
Where the fuck am I supposed to be going?
You know
You
that.
can crash those butt platforms now.
Yeah,
but
but
where?
you remember that
We're gonna
that
be
stump
lost here for
that
a
you
while.
had to go on, and you went down the pipe, and I told you to go back to get the peonies. Yeah.
Zach is gonna. Good job, Zach! You're
Tama?
doing great!
Tama?
Go get him!
You lost 30.
Don't go, I guess don't go get him too fast. Or they'll lose themselves.
It's a cow. How did they?
They'll get lost in the scenery.
It's a fucking open room. You can't possibly tell me that you lost me. So it was, I think it was this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. They're not stuck.
Those guys that were stuck
You
got
gotta be careful.
unstuck.
This is an open room. Be careful. Make
Don't
sure
go
not to
too
lose
fast.
anyone.
Okay. Now it's
that
this?
hole. Yeah. Okay, you can go around. Very cool.
Make sure to pick. Okay, good.
Got the orb. Go in the hole.
I lost Flurry.
It's okay. She'll show up eventually. Zach is now
What
being
the
held
hell?
hostage.
Yo, you got
Zach's
sniped.
being held hostage
You got
by
sniped.
the game.
The big snipe.
The big snipe.
You're dead.
Aren't you happy you can do more damage now?
Yes. It literally doubled my damage, which is kind of insane.
Now you want to jump instead of hammer.
Can I, if I do a perfect, I guess the perfect
Were
would
these the
make
fidget
zero
spinners
damage, right?
before fidget
Yeah.
spinners existed? Is this where you think they got the fidget spinner idea, guys?
Yeah, they stole it from this one video game.
Just kill him. Just end him, please. Did this game come out before or after Mario Sunshine?
This came out after Mario Sunshine.
How long after?
I think a year after.
Okay.
Why?
Oh.
Zach, they multiplied, Zach.
He is in pain.
Luckily I can do that.
Kill him!
Working on.
Slam him with her body.
Slam
Is
him with
Smackery
the
a thing?
thickness.
Is that a thing involving your name that anyone's done?
Sorry?
Is Smackery a thing?
think so.
Smackery.
You know what I remembered the other day though, and it made me cry. I remembered when I was younger, my dad used to call me Zaboomafoo because when I was very young, that was one of the shows that I enjoyed watching on TV.
The Boomafoo is great.
Oh, you got doubled.
I got double XP.
Zaboomafoo
I mean,
was
Zaboomafoo is goated, so.
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed. I'm not
forever.
disappointed about it, but it just made me very nostalgic. I killed that guy from across the room.
After he sniped you.
I wanna watch Black
Say this
Dynamite
typing is
again.
pretty
I might do that tonight. That'd be great. Oh, I should definitely get the Black Dynamite DVD.
Well, we'll see when we
Saba,
let
if
free.
you
I'm sure there's
disconnect,
a
I'm
save block.
going to kill you.
We'll see when we'll be let free of this hostage
I'm
situation.
trying. Dude, the game's just not letting me.
That's why I said a hostage situation.
Paper Mario Purgatory.
Paper Mario in the 1,000-year stream.
That was
Oh
really
my
good.
gosh!
How do I get
is
that?
perfect.
Oh, is this another Coops situation?
Most likely.
When in doubt, Coops poops.
Coops out.
When in doubt, Coops out.
They're all like, "Where did he go?"
Oh, this is probably going to be filled with water at some point, I guess. Oh my god! I'm so tired, please.
You could just go. You could just go back up and then go find a save block there, but
No!
You know how long we spent coming down here?
Like minutes!
More than just minutes. You had a whole
There
fight
has to
in
be a
between.
save block, like somewhere in this building. Please.
I am starving to death.
When in doubt, you can just go back to the start.
When in doubt, just quit.
just turn off the
Alt
game
F4.
right now.
Alt
End
F4.
Just end
You
it.
have save states. I don't know why you're so insistent on using a save block.
I don't know how to do save states on Dolphin.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing we're not on
Man.
Dolphin. We're on Legend GameCube then.
If I wish I knew how to do fucking save states. Are you kidding me?
Okay. Water time.
Fuck.
Oh, you have to do some fun Coops things. Now you're thinking. Now he's drowning.
Oh, there he is.
I was like, oh my god.
Flushed him down the turret.
Flush him down the toilet.
Is this gonna make
Oh,
a
maybe
bridge with the
instead-
lily pads?
Yeah.
Oh, and a chest.
Oh my god, look, it's a chest, but guess what?
With a
Wish
boot.
we had a Save.
Losing it.
I'm gonna die soon.
She's losing it, Zach.
I'm not gonna live much longer.
Oh,
Sama's
finally.
lifespan is expiring. Sama's the lifespan of a housefly.
That's not where I wanted to go.
I'm dying. I need help.
7 minutes over and Sama's withering like a sponge.
You mean drying up like a raisin?
Come on. Fucking work with me here, woman.
Sama's becoming jerky as we speak.
Yeah.
This might be the actual boss.
There has to be. There it
Oh, look,
is.
there's the boss.
Oh my
There
god,
it
we can save it for
is!
next time. Or we can end the stream with the boss.
We're not gonna do that. We have stream tomorrow. It'll be fun tomorrow.
All right.
Oh my
We
gosh.
did it, everyone. Good
All
job.
right, that
We
was
made
stream.
it.
Thank
my
you.
God.
Dude.
All
Jesse,
right,
we'd
goodbye,
love it if you
everyone.
came back tomorrow, but don't feel obligated. Adrian,
Yeah.
we're hoping that you're going to show up because I want to do more banter topics. Good night,
I'm out of banter
everybody.
topics, actually.
Good night.
Bye bye.